Welcome to Dope Check episode 25. It's been 25 weeks of the masterclass Yap sessions, but we're back. More drama, more storylines, just more narratives that we have to talk about. I'm here as always with the two GOATs, Tactical Rab and Trey Zero. Guys, how are we feeling today? What's going on? What's the vibe? Talk to me.
I've had an absolutely sensational day, Ace. You know what, as well? There is one more week of online matches left of this season. I'm absolutely buzzing. One more week of qualifiers, then we get back to LAN, then we get to the World Championship, then we go to Riyadh. It's going to be sensational. So much stuff to talk about, but man, what a week in terms of storylines. It wasn't long ago on the show we were talking about, damn, it's just been our third week of dogshit online qualifiers, all the top four teams 3-0ing all the dogshit teams. Here we are nowadays. It's an incredibly different story. We've got the top boys struggling. Even FaZe aren't exactly looking indomitable. Toronto not smoking the competition. And OpTic, shit in the bed. What's going on there? The only team they've beaten so far is Miami with Purge in the roster, not even Vickle. So we've got a lot to talk about today because just a couple of weeks after OpTic win the major, the conversation is genuinely in the community. And I can't even say that this is a bad thing. Talking about, does this team need a roster change? There's lots to talk about.
Trey?
Hey guys. It's an absolute goddamn pleasure to be here. Online COD is about to end. And then guess what? The boys link up again in Dallas after that godforsaken secret LAN event they're hosting for Major 4. Once we get that out of the way, the boys will be in Dallas. I will not be wearing shorts because I have milk bottle legs. So I will be dressed in all black just like usual, sweating my balls off in Dallas. But there's a lot to talk about. A lot of teams have decided to show up randomly. You know, where was this all year? I've just decided to play well for this. Yeah, you know, that's what it is, though. The lower teams are going 150 and the top teams are going 99, you know? So, a lot to talk about. A lot of upsets. This has probably been the most interesting online COD session so far, so I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. Before we get into the deep dive of the matches this week, we have some updates on the Esports World Cup, the Riyadh tournament, end of the year, basically second champs. Let's jump over to that right now. So, we got an update from one of the GOATs, Jacob Hale. Call of Duty teams participating in the Esports World Cup have a June 27th deadline to finalize rosters the day Major 4 starts. CDL teams will essentially have to play with their Major 4 roster or make a changes before that. Could be either very boring or very hectic. So essentially, we have a confirmation that all 12 CDL teams have an invitation to the Esports World Cup officially. Whether all of them go is a different story. And the roster changes here add a little bit of intrigue to the rest of this story. Trey, Rab, I'm going to open the floor to either one of you guys. How do we feel about this update that all 12 teams are actually invited to this event?
I mean, this is the way that it should be, because there were concerns, I guess, on my side that the only teams that were going to get invited were the teams that had affiliations with existing franchises that had already been invited. So we're talking FaZe, 100 Thieves, G2, which is ROKKR, and Toronto, because they were affiliated with KOI. I was a bit concerned that, you know, the people of Saudi Arabia would have to sit there and watch Minnesota ROKKR play COD. And that's going to be, you know, that might be a tough watch. So what I'm happy is to see that we are going to have at least all the 12 teams there in attendance. At least they've been invited. I guess the big question is whether they all accept. Because 8 of those organizations that have been invited, as I presume the organizations that they are, like Carolina Royal Ravens have been invited as the Carolina Royal Ravens, not as, you know, Rogue or whatever they were affiliated with in terms of like an actual regular esports team. So, look, the organizations need the cash. They want to strengthen the relationship with the Saudi investment funds that are putting serious money into esports and try and, I imagine, become partners with these respective leagues over the upcoming seasons. But obviously, there are also implications from accepting said invitation. So I think that's the question, right? We also still don't know. We know there's going to be 16 teams. We know what the format's going to look like. We don't know how those extra 4 teams are going to be determined, from which regions they come in, how the qualifier works. We're only a couple of months away. And assuming that's even true, what happens if a few of the teams decide not to attend and reject the invitation? What about the players on those teams? Because probably they might still want to go, even if the org says no. It's it's absolute madness, and I absolutely love it because usually the off season is hella boring, and this is a serious here we go moment.
Trey, coming into this, being part of the Call of Duty rosters and seeing basically a secondary champs, if you were a player playing right now, would you feel that you want to stick it out with your team, make a custom roster? How would you feel kind of going into something like this?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, like with the roster lock being Major 4, you're kind of chalked up in making any roster change apart from Boston Breach, in my opinion. Especially with the teams that are fighting for champs right now, they ain't gonna, decide to make a roster change for the second champs, be it, and chalk up their actual team for champs. Imagine you find out you're the guy that's getting dropped, you're gonna be fuming. You ain't gonna be happy about it, and then you're gonna miss out on the opportunity while someone else, goes and plays and you get dropped. Especially like I said, you're trying to make champs, so are you going to be a little bitch about it? Probably. That's just how it is. What I think teams should probably do is if they do want to make roster changes going into this, I assume you're still allowed a sub spot. So just sign someone for 14 days going into it. I guess like a challenger player or something like that. Give them a little go for the tournament. Do I see the Saudis changing this rule? I don't think so, because Saudis have got bigger balls than all of us put together. Like, they hold all the cards in this scenario, and everyone's going to go. Like you said, they need the cash. So the only team that I don't see going CDL-based is OpTic. Even Hex confirmed that a few weeks ago, I think, on a podcast or on a show or something like that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that going around a lot right now. So really, it's like you got to look at it like, are the players going to be pissed off if you're on OpTic and you can't go? I personally, I wouldn't be pissed off because you're playing for OpTic, and obviously that's their ruling on it. So, you just got to listen to the org that you're contractually signed to. So, and the orgs that are going, it's like Rab said, you need the cash, you want to hold this relationship, and, you can't blame him for that.
It really makes you, like, the thought of some teams not, OpTic doesn't go, which, might in turn lead to some other teams not going, or some teams may have the funds to even send their teams over, don't want to spend the money for the travel, the hotel, everything, expenses. The details of this, whether this organization, the Saudi fund, is paying for the players, paying for the hotels, paying for all this stuff, I'm not sure we really have confirmation on that part. So let's say 2 or 3 of these teams don't go. What happens then? Who fills those spots? Who gets those spots? Who decides who comes in? There's not really a big international, other league for COD besides maybe the MENA. There's different regions, but who comes in and takes the spot of a CDL team? It's very confusing kind of what would happen in this case. And it looks like it's going to line up for some confusing stuff to happen in the next few weeks, honestly. We also have a follow-up by... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because people in the chat saying, the OpTic players, they're going to go into a different team. Like, I don't think you guys understand. If OpTic don't go, they're not going to allow their players to go. They are representing the brand too. Like, that's not a good look for OpTic, and certainly not a good look for the players if they're on OpTic and like, we really want to play in this tournament. In my opinion, anyway, Hex could say like, they can go do that. But, I think if they're on the moral high ground of like, we're not going, then the players aren't going to go either, be it on a different team as well.
Yeah, I would have to honestly side with you there. We have a follow-up here by Ben J. Nassim. The next question is if CDL is going to slide their off-season deadlines back to accommodate this, or are we going to see some sort of short-term contracts post-champs? Kind of what we discussed here. And then Jacob Hill actually replies with, I was actually thinking, I wonder if we possibly see players sign pre-agreements with teams, then just put up on 14 days over the event, spend little, but possibly huge upside if they want to play well at the tourney. Again, this could be some potential way that if OpTic does give a loosey-goosey kind of thing for their players, that we see them, some possible dream team type of rosters, right? Like the absolute craziest imaginary thoughts we've had, Scrap playing with Pred or Dashy or something crazy like that could happen. Who knows? But I think we're going to need a few more weeks of details to really see how this builds out. And after Major 4, kind of, what the idea is here. And if we get some more details from the Saudi fund, what's going to happen.
A couple of quick things on this. Also, I did just throw something in the other chat, so if you just want to find that real quick, because it's on the rule book with regard to the date of the deadline. I know people are mentioning in chat on what the business reason may be for OpTic not to attend, because I think Hex has been quite clear that they, at least on the information they had a couple of weeks ago, were not going to attend the event. And obviously you can look at it from like a moral perspective, but like, I don't know if that's really what's going on here. I think it feels to me that OpTic have not been chosen to be a partner team, and therefore OpTic don't want to appear, if they don't go, to have been bought out in some respects. I guess in some sense the issue with that strategy is that if you reject the invite, I would say it diminishes the chances that next year OpTic Gaming is selected as a partner team. And I don't expect forever OpTic not to be at the Esports World Cup. Like, I feel like, it's effectively a Cold World Cup. Like, if you want to be considered the best esports team in the world, the reality is that over the next few years, you're probably going to have to attend and, win stuff at the Esports World Cup. So, yeah, interested to see how that one is going to go going forwards. But there's also this that was spotted. I know that our girl Ela Dog looked into all this because they came up with a rule book. And, us, like, COD fans, like, it's quite long, you know what I mean? Like, am I really going to read the whole thing? No. Like, I'm going to, somebody else can do it for me. So Ina's actually read through it. And the understanding was that there's a deadline on the 27th of June for the Call of Duty tournaments to have a roster. But the article, the rulebook kind of implies this is somewhat flexible. Like, if you have a joint venture, i.e. your organization partners with like a local team, then it's potentially flexible. There's also the possibility they could push this date back to some degree. So I don't know if it's clear cut yet that a roster that the teams are going to have right now in, let's say, a week, 10 days time is necessarily the same as what it's going to be in, they could potentially change the rule is what I'm saying. The 27th of June deadline, I don't necessarily think is hard and fast. So I think there is a possibility that after the World Championship, the COD World Championship, teams actually make genuine roster changes. And like, we could have different rosters for the Esports World Cup than we have for the World Championship, and then theoretically we could then have different rosters again come the start of the new season.
I'm gonna add to again the fact that they're clearly stating this joint ventures like points in there kind of does make it sound like there's gonna be some teams who are, have probably spoken to them or potentially said that we may not send ourselves, but we may try to find someone to go with us, put some teams together, put some players together, put some rosters together. Again, creating that dream team type of scenario that I would love to see. I think it would be good for fans to see. It's added. It's kind of showcases it in this rule book itself. So I'm excited to see what happens with the Esports World Cup as a whole. And again, if we get a chance to go, I would love to. Honestly, even if we don't get like as a group get invited, I might still go just to see what's going on. This is probably one of the craziest gaming events in the world. Honestly, it's bound to be. Continuing on.
I'm sure we can swindle something.
We might in a private jet. See, we're rich and handsome. We'll make it happen, right?
I'm sure we can. Look at us, bro. Like, there's no way.
We look immaculate, right? We look fucking immaculate. It is what it is.
No way.
Jumping ahead to COD and things that don't look immaculate, people are hating. We have Scrap here hating. Scrap hating on the haters, hating on the omnidirectional movement.
Right, you okay in the head right now? Right, good work.
Here we go. Let's watch this clip. I'm gonna turn the volume for you guys. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to get your hopes about this Omni, bro. That's probably getting GA'd, bro. Let's be real. It depends. It depends how broken it is. It's either gonna get GA'd 1, or it's just gonna be like not that good to where pros just won't use it. Why do y'all GA good shit? What do you mean? Why do we GA good shit? Like, what's good shit? I promise you, most of the GAs that we do is to make the betterment of the game more competitive, because the game is not competitive. Sniper, bro, we GA'd the sniper because it would make the game horrible. It would literally make S&D like just horrible. There's no sniper that like you could quick scope with. All the it's just stupid. Because like, bro, if the sniper was good, there was a sniper last year. We didn't GA the sniper last year. I don't know why y'all GA'd ATS or single tap stuff. Hands up, bro. Because bro, not everyone's like that will literally give everyone. It's just a skill gap, bro. That creates 0 skill gap. Like, I promise you, 0. To be able to do it without it is like tippable. You know what I mean? When you have ATS, bro, like that shit means nothing.
This is bro. Everything he's talking about right now is stuff that we talked about early on in the season. We're 25 episodes in. 22, 24, 21 episodes ago, we spoke on the GAs and why it happens. Guys, it's always about the competition, the competitiveness. Trey, the GAs, are pros just making GAs to just silly goose, ruin the game, ruin the fun? Is that why it's happening, or is it actually for the competitive reasons, as we stated on this show, and Scrap is pushing as well?
I mean, listen, one thing I don't get about pros is, right, he's talking about GA and I've been a part of the GA group and stuff like that, but we'll talk about GA and Omnimovement, but then we'll talk about that we GA ATS because it creates skill gap. So
That's a good point.
Does Omnimovement not create skill gap, or does ATS not create, like, you know, they both going to create skill gap, but you're going to ban one in one game, but then you're going to try and ban the other in the other game? That's like contradicting yourself, in my opinion. Like, makes no sense. Also, Spinner Spence also said they're not allowed to GA it, and I'm going to say I don't even think there'll be an option to turn it off.
I think there's a confirmation there is an option to turn it on and off.
I thought that when they showed it on and off in terms of what it looks like with it off and what it looks like with it on, but without a.
It might be the next clip I
slider.
put actually. Ace is like kind of maybe not that exactly, but just kind of showing what this omnidirectional actually looks like. But
Yeah, there's not saying that there's a slider to turn it off. It's just showing what it looks like when it's not on.
It might
from a dev point of view.
The way that sounds, the way I saw the clip, I remember, I don't know exactly. We watched the clip. I think this could just be speculation, but I think there is a on and off slider, and that would be the way for them to show movement with it on and off. But if it's not a choice and it's just integrated in the game, I mean, that's going to cause a whole nother series of problems, because if you can't GA it.
But this is the point, right? Like, as Knuckle Ladle Ken says in chat here, like, this is what I said when I talked about this clip a couple of days ago in the video, that the pros can say, all right, let's say every single team agrees that it's cheese and wants it to be gone, which first of all, they won't anyway, because OpTic are going to want it in because Shotzi likes it, right? But if you're a team that isn't a top team, you might think, well, you know, it's funny because the pros always make the argument skill gap, skill gap, skill gap, but then when they get skill diffed by something that they think should be GA'd, they cry about it and get it GA'd, even if, you know, they're just too bad to actually use it to its full advantage. That's what happens a lot of the time. So it's all just smoke and mirrors with these pros a lot of the time. But the reality is, if the CDL rule set mandates it must be on, then you can't turn it off, because it's not something that you simply can choose not to use. If you play the game with omnidirectional movement turned on in the settings, you will be playing the game with omnidirectional movement on. There's no way to avoid it. You can't like, oh, I won't snake, or I won't, you know, use this head glitch. Like, when you walk, when you run, when you dive, whatever you do, you will be using the omnidirectional movement features inevitably. So the pros can GA it if it's not mandated, and therefore they can decide between them to all go into their settings and turn it off, which would be terrible, because every single, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry playing pubs is going to be using omnidirectional movement on, and they're going to be like, what the hell are these pros playing at? This ain't the game that I play, which is not the world we want to live in. So if I'm Spinner Spence, you know, the other day he said, yeah, no, it's not going to be banned. And I think that the CDL actually have the power on that, because even if it is an on-off switch, they can mandate to say, hey, in the CDL rules, this is on. That's how it works. And you can't GA it at that point. Like, there's no getting away from it.
I do want I want to disagree just with not disagree with what you're saying, but just one part of what you said was just overall, though, 90% of GAs that happen, I know fans don't like them, but pros are genuinely doing them to improve the gaming experience for competitors. If you played ranked without a lot of the GAs, if you guys remember in the start of this year, when we had ranked with a lot of the extra guns and even the snipers in the early point of ranked, it was awful. It was terrible. Unless you were an actual troll, it wasn't a fun game to play. So I know there's a lot of negativity when it comes to GAs and how pros approach them, but we have to look at it realistically and take into account that 95% of these GAs are to make the game better.
I think pros are going to realize as well that, like, this is a brand new thing Treyarch have put into the game. This has never been in any COD game ever before. if you think Treyarch are going to let you GA this and not have it being shown, you are faded. Actually faded. This is a brand new thing Treyarch have put in, and they're loving it because they're making actual content just based around this one thing. If you think you can say to Treyarch, "No, we're not using this in the league," you are faded. They are going to make it. It's not even the league yet. Treyarch basically are going to run the league too. Treyarch are the game developers. You like whatever they want in the game will be in the game. Whatever they want in the league will be in the league. So.
The only hesitation I have with this too is let's say you dive around a corner, you do like an omnidirectional jump to the right with shooting out of a corner. Will it be similar to snaking? You get what I'm saying? Will it be similar to a shoulder break, or like in AW when you jump across a wall to wall basically and shoot while strafing? Will it be camera breaking? Will there be some OP stuff to it? That's yet to be seen, but considering this is Treyarch, this is not Infinity Ward, I have faith, okay? I want to let everyone know I have faith.
I will say snaking is in every game, though. Like, it's not, like, it's something COD can't get rid of. It's like, sorry I keep talking about it, but X-Defiant and Desync, it's pretty much similar to that. Snaking, you can't see them when they're snaking. That's pretty much a similar thing. It's a camera thing that you can't even stop. So... that's just something in the gaming world that you're gonna have to put up with. What I would do is I'd give Shotzi the bag, let him play the game early in the dev current, the way that how they play it in the dev build. Let him loose on it for about a week. Let him see what game breaking bugs he can find with the movement, and then you'll be sorted when the game comes out.
Hey. You're thinking too logically, son. Take a lap. Go outside, take a lap. We're not. This is COD development. There's no logic here, okay?
I'll do that, bro.
Yeah, this is COD development, baby. What are you talking? You talking rational? Get out. Go take a lap, bud. The hell are you talking rational? I don't know. More game breaking movement is just scary to me. That's a little bit of a problem. I think if you do have snaking is already obviously an issue for years. Some of the shouldering or wall, just the normal camera movement in COD is some of the BS. But if there's a third way now with omnidirectional to cause game-breaking mechanics, I think that is a little scary and worrisome, which is some pros are kind of shaking in their boots and already having this discussion about whether we GA or don't. It's whether a third version of now BS kind of camera movement and game-breaking mechanics come up. But, we have to wait and see. Hopefully we get a beta soon enough, sooner rather than later, and kind of.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, I think the one thing that frustrates me a little bit, I don't know what you guys feel about this, because obviously Trey and Ace, obviously Trey's still grinding X-Defiant every day. I used to play a lot of games when I was younger, and especially all the COD games, and I feel like in part COD fell off, which obviously it has done, but also I just wasn't interested in grinding the games in the same way. I think part of it is because the games have not improved. I'm not even just talking COD, I'm just talking in general, because what we're talking about here is as you rightfully say, omnidirectional movement is this innovative feature, and it may cause problems with the cameras, right? Like making sure that what the players do actually aligns with what the opponent sees. And I know that this is going to always be a problem in online matchmaking when you've got ping and you've got to ensure that what the player does is going to be the same on the other side. It's obviously a problem, but this has been a problem for decades, and it's a problem that it doesn't really seem has got any better. 15 years ago, were the cameras any worse than they are today? I mean, maybe, but it's one of these things where where is the money for this innovation and development going, right? The money goes into finding more ways to get people addicted to your game and spend more money on it, rather than actually making a better game. I'm not, this is just a byproduct of the way the market forces work, but I just think it's kind of frustrating that we're having this discussion, because if the development of games over the last 15 years had gone in the way that maybe it should have gone, then this wouldn't even be a discussion. It's oh, great, we fixed the cameras 5 years ago. But also because we're making a new COD every year, doesn't exactly help.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna laugh So I might cry with laughter watching a stiff AR try and either do the movement or get killed by someone doing a movement, bro. I could just imagine like the stiffest AR just doing the backwards fucking dive midair and turning around and just whiffing everybody. Like, I'm there for it though. I'm there for it.
We'll take a quick watch of just.
I want Lamar to make sure that he's still competing next year. We need Lamar back in the league just to see what he's cooking up with this omnidirectional movement.
His movement's been looking different this year, okay? Compared to the last 10 years of competing, basically, he's looked miles ahead finally, okay? Let's watch Shotzi react to this broken movement in Black Ops 6 really quick before we move on.
The most signature Black Ops experience for our players.
Dude, I swear to God, bro, I've always wanted a game like this. I'm not even trolling you. I've always wanted a game where you could dive and shoot at the same time. I swear to fucking God, that was like my ideal game.
For the first time ever, players can sprint in any direction and move like a true Black Ops action hero with an entirely new global system.
Okay, why would you ever want it off? That's my like I feel like they should have. Like, what is the reason you would ever want it off? I just don't understand why you would even want it off.
Any direction and move like a true Black Ops action hero with an entirely.
Because you could, if you like, you know what I'm saying, chat? I feel like they should have. I mean, I guess they could have it on and off or have like a setting or whatever. But like, dude, I feel like they should have just had it in the game. Like, they shouldn't even put it to where you have the option to put it on and off. Because now this shit's about to get GA'd. You know what I'm saying, chat? Because like, bro, like, look at the on compared to the off. No one's trying to fucking walk like that. Look at this shit. Guy's fucking doing some fucking. He's warming up for fucking soccer practice with these damn fucking workouts.
Any direction and move like a true Black Ops action hero with an entirely new global system we call Omnimovement to move like never before and seamlessly chain combat maneuvers.
No, I know they're showing the difference, but I'm saying like
supine prone in full.
Holy fuck, AG might be fucking insane on this shit, dude.
360 degrees range of motion.
Holy fuck, dude! Look at that, chat. You can literally.
And our enhanced.
LeProne is gonna be the final very, very soon with this type of movement. Not gonna lie, LeProne is going to be the best player in Black Ops 6. Shotzi and LeProne are gonna be ridiculous as a twin duo.
I fear Sim still jump around the corner and killing Lep.
Dude. Yeah, no, it looks again.
Be it on his cock or on his back, I fear LeProne is still
getting put down. This guy Shotzi. I mean, again, it looks so much to me. Isn't this kind of like Gears, right? I don't know if you guys have played Gears ever, right? But isn't the movement a little bit like Gears, where you're jumping around and being able to shoot? Trey, you gave me a kind of a face.
I think I know what you mean. I mean, like,
I just wouldn't compare it to Gears.
Yeah, well, Gears is more duck and cover, right? I
Obviously
understand the
third
basis
person,
wasn't this.
Well, yeah,
exactly,
like,
but
well,
there's
Gears
still...
is like bobbing wall to wall. I was more
Yeah.
thinking like a Rainbow Six game, a Battlefield game where like you lay down, you can like you push yourself against the wall and your character turns around, and you know, if you guys have played Battlefield, you guys know what I'm on. Same with Rainbow Six Siege. You know, you turn around, you lay down, you're on your back shooting at, you know.
You can do that. You can do that. Rainbow Six. You can actually like turn around on your back and like on the ground and stuff. Oh, okay. So I've never played Rainbow Six. I played Battlefield.
Not like
not
like that. I don't feel like. I feel like that's gonna be like when you're laying down, you press a button and it will do it for you. But like if you're prone and you like move back against a wall, like your character will automatically go on its front.
I mean, COD is known to just innovate, take what other people are doing that's working and innovate it. You know, Jetpacks was working. They took it. They tried to make it better. They're doing this. Rainbow Six is clearly popping off right now. They're finding something from that and taking it. It makes sense. Totally makes sense. Jumping ahead. Speaking of Shotzi, speaking of OpTic, and we have the master clickbaiter with us right now, Tactical Rabito, of course. We have a clip here from JP saying that Dashy was so upset about losing to ROKKR, he went to the gym and was slugging weights around. He doesn't even go to the gym. He was sore 5 days after. Let's take a listen, man. This is comedy. This is just like absolute comedy.
Everyone was so upset. Like, Brandon was so upset he went to the fucking gym and was just slugging weights around. And the dude doesn't even go to the gym. He said yesterday, he's like, bro, I'm still sore. I'm like, fucking 5 days out. Everyone was so upset.
Dude, OpTic, man. This is like the talk of the town, right? This is the talk of the town. What's happening with OpTic? Should we get into this now? Should we wait for the matches? How do
we can talk about this one specific. I want to discuss like this specific clip because it's just quite funny, and then I just want to kind of go through the matches a little bit more chronologically, just to break down what happened through the weekend, and then eventually we'll get back to OpTic themselves and the way that they performed this weekend. But look, Trey, I know you've been hitting the gym, and I know this ain't the way to do it, brother, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I've been at the gym and shit.
Listen,
there's nothing there. Listen, can we get these gamers some fucking PTs, bro? Like, these gamers are probably just looking at these weights thinking, yeah, fuck that. The baddies are here. Let me lift this fucking thing. They'll lift it, pull a muscle, they'll hurt it. Like, listen, I'll explain. I went to the gym with a caster one time back in World War II. I'm not going to say his name because it's a very controversial name in the gaming scene now.
I know exactly who you're on about.
But yeah, no, I was doing the weights that he was doing, and he was going to the gym a lot. I do his weights. I wake up the next day. I can't move my arms. I can't. Literally, I was going into the fridge like this. I would have to bend down like a robot, go into the fridge like that, grab it out. I couldn't do it. I could not move my arm forward. I could have cried.
It wasn't long ago that I like overtrained calves, and I genuinely like. I was crawling around the house like it was fucking bad. I could barely walk. I could not leave the house if I tried. So like, anyway, Dashy's probably learned his lesson on progressive overload. That when you hit the gym for the first time and just pump out as much as you possibly can. No one in chat has guessed, by the way, Trey, who you were talking about, which I'm surprised at.
They won't ever guess. Lionman says, what can you bench? I can bench you.
They're gonna guess.
Listen, especially these people going to the gym first. Oh, hang on. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was going to also thank you for the PD gaming. These were the settings shown from the, I guess this is the one kind of thing of settings shown in response to our last conversation about whether the omnidirectional movement will be able to be turned on and off. As far as we can see, we don't see a slider for it. We see auto move forward, tactical sprint, mantling, all the stuff that we're used to.
Could be further down.
Yeah, it could be further down, but I guess as to what we can see, it's not there. But there is sprint assist, mantle assist. There's a bunch of assists, intelligent movement, quote unquote. But we do not see a slider for Omni movement, which is good signs for the public community. The GA community, though, is in shambles currently. Absolute shambles. Let's go back to Sexy Dashy, though, yeah?
We'll go back to Sexy Dashy.
This is my point, yeah. Obviously, he's angry. He thinks, yeah, I'm going to go to the fucking gym. All right, let me slug some of these bad boys around. That's not how you do it, bro. If you're angry, start punching a pillow. Go to one of those stress rooms where you get a baseball bat and start swinging at a broken TV. I promise you, slugging weights around that you ain't trained to lift or worked up to lift just on a random day, just thinking, fuck this, I'm going to the gym. You ain't been to the gym, Dashy. I swear, you don't go gym.
Dashy, you got to get your anger out the right way, bro. You got to start taking your teammates, sitting them down, making them play some ace with you, making them play some ranked, get on the toy, play some more. I don't know. This gym is not. You're frying, my brother. You're frying.
Listen. There's two things to do when you're angry. All right, bust one out or go knock something out. All right, that's what you got to do. Don't go slug around the gym that you don't go to because you're gonna hurt yourself. That's coming from a fat guy that you've done the exact same thing with the person we won't talk about.
If you want to go to the gym, though, Dashy, hit me up. We'll go. We'll go to the gym. I got the whip. I'll hop in.
You know what?
I'll make you buff, Dallas? Dashy. Huh?
I mean, what do we think? Like steak dinner and gym session?
And gym session?
I mean, what do we think, chat? I ain't gonna lie. I think that could be a play.
Gym session, then steak dinner. Other way.
Gym session, then steak dinner, back to back.
That's a pretty good day, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, listen. If I find a place, because I'm not paying for a hotel for 3 days early. You got another thing coming. What the fuck am I gonna do for 3 days? Sit in the gym 3 days? If I find a place to stay for 3 days, boom, I'll come out early. We'll go to the gym every single day. How about that?
I like that.
Could sit on my lap for 3 days. How about that?
I mean, all I'm saying is,
son of a bitch, I'm in.
He's probably got enough room in the penthouse.
We can make it happen.
I'll sleep on the balcony.
We'll make it happen. Oh yeah, I can have a whole gang. I can have a whole party of people sleeping on this balcony, bro. Come on, man. Don't play with me.
I saw your IG story yesterday. 10 baddies on the balcony. Yeah.
Hey, calm. That's the burner. That's the burner. Relax.
It was on private circles. It was only me on there. Oi.
Holy shit. Okay. We have this here from Tommy talking about AG in the NYSL and OpTic matchup. We're kind of jumping ahead, but still, talk a little bit about these matches, what's going on with OpTic. Let's get into a little
Okay,
bit
we
of
can
drama.
share this clip real quick.
Yeah.
Then let's just go to the match page and we'll just go through them one by one.
Yeah, we'll just hit it kind of quickly.
There for Anthony Castro as 30 seconds remaining. Right now is looking pretty good.
Brandon's still here.
Yeah, great hunt by Hydra though, just to make sure you chop Shotzi down. He has been the star player right now.
LePred on his stummy, watching his whole team die. I fear.
Missile and maybe no scrap time.
Bro, what is he doing?
LePred, I'm gonna need you to chow.
Yeah, what was he doing there? He just front baited his whole squad.
Didn't get a kill. Ahead of the rotation, so that's a big break.
All right, listen.
The return of LeProne. The return.
Fuck that. Nah, fuck that. All right. What the fuck is Dashy doing?
That's
standing. What? Standing on a fucking godheady.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Pred is the one to blame for this clip. He's just last alive in a spot where they don't know where he is, so he's trying to like figure out maybe one to get to make it easier. He's not actually the one to blame here. If we go back to the beginning of
Dashy, we just won major 3. Is your brain falling out your ears?
Shotzi's jumping top AC when they're going for.
Shotzi's trying to rotate. I'll let Shotzi have it. All right. He took a terrible route though.
Yeah, I'm saying he's trying to jump top AC with 30 seconds left. Kind of, I mean, weird route. He's playing 7-2. He's doing something.
Right now is looking.
Yeah, then Dashy's standing on top of one of the best headies on this map is kind of confusing as well. Get behind the vending. I don't know.
Pretty good.
Nah, bro, there's literally a heady behind you, crouch on it. You're gonna guarantee yourself 1. That's all you need to do. Guarantee 1. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, and then Kenny dies as well. We don't get a POV on him, but yeah, Pred is just left in a 1v 17,000
Pred doesn't really have much of a play here. Like he can't really do much other than what he does. I know he gets clowned for it here because he prods out and dies, but like genuinely there isn't. I mean, he probably could have played it different before this point. Like he maybe could have gone with
let's see where he was.
Dashy
Let's see where he was
to try and trade it with him.
Number 7
All right.
was.
But like this specific play, I don't think there's a problem with.
All right, listen. I'm listen.
He's in the
stream,
bus
I'm
right
just
now.
gonna-
He's in the bus right now. By the way.
Listen, stream. I'm just gonna say this to you. All right.
It's a classic red spot.
I'm just gonna say this to you. Don't say headshot multiplier. Don't say any of this. An off angle. All right. This is getting cameraed. You're gonna die here every single time.
Still here.
A sub's gonna come around there, and a sub is gonna come around there every single time and wipe you off the
LePred on
fucking
his
face.
stummy, watching his whole team die.
Alright.
I fear.
You gotta play the head glitch, right? If you get waxed off the head glitch, you get waxed off the head glitch. You gotta at least play it like for. You gotta sit on that. Like,
Are people defending
I know we
Dashy's
wanna-
choice?
we got headshot multiplier. It's an off angle. Like, listen, we're not playing off angles on a godheady, bro. That's not an off angle. That's dumb.
That worked in a 1v1 in search and destroy, but when
Yeah,
you
it
put it
works.
again
This-
double
this-
shell,
this
it doesn't work.
This is a hard point. People are running at you. Why?
It's
Yeah, get behind
yeah.
the heady.
A 1v1 S&D, yeah, you could be anywhere. When you're breaking this hill, everyone knows you're gonna be sat on that heady. So fucking sit on it and get yourself a kill.
And normally people will, since they know you're sitting there, they're gonna slide for you. They're gonna slide on that spot, knowing you're there. You still have to get 1, even if you get slid on with 2. It just.
And the guy saying this is Pred's fault, bro. Pred can't do shit. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah. What?
Pred's like, obviously Pred could go help Dashy, but Pred's just sitting there watching his push. He's hoping Dashy gets 1. If Dashy gets 1, he probably makes the other guy weak. And if he doesn't, Pred, like, everyone just lost their 1. Shotzi took a terrible route going up top. Dashy played on the godheady and wasn't on the godhead. He was still on top of it. And Pred's just laying there after. In my brain, Shotzi takes a long route. He's already rotating at 30, so he should take a long route. Dashy should be sitting on a godheady, get himself 1. Pred then gets to trade on Dashy, and then the hill's like up for grabs for anyone.
Buddy
But
that's saying this is AG's fault. I need you to headset off, pick up the phone, ring, 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 ring. Hello, Mr. Optometrist. I need to come in for a visit because you ain't watching shit. You're not watching the right game. Your vision's off. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're thinking. You gotta handle your own. You gotta handle something else outside of dope check, man.
To everyone in the chat, listen. This is pro analysis gameplay from Trey right here. Shotzi, terrible route going from there to there on the window to the top. If he's early rotating at 30 seconds, take the long route. Go around chicken. You can climb up. Go anywhere you want. You've took a terrible route. Dashy, not playing on the head glitch. Didn't guarantee yourself 1. So Pred only has a 1v1 for himself in the bus. That's where it all goes wrong. They all done something terrible. Pred's the least of my worries in that situation.
Absolutely. So yeah, this I know this kind of blew up on the COD Reddit, but honestly, it's just being analyzed wrong. I think Tommy's also an influence in what he's saying there a little bit, just like, oh, he front baited his whole team, but that's really not the truth here. Here's another.
Well, Pred's just gonna get it in the ass because he's laying down. That's literally it.
Yeah, it's just doing what people would expect him to do when they substitute his POV. He's laying in a corner.
He's laying on his ass. He's laying on his car.
Hey, it's not Black Ops 6. He's not laying on his ass.
I thought he said someone else,
year.
but you know, all good.
Nah, listen. This is my point. Pred could be laying down and be in a 1v4, and everyone be like, "Oh, he's laying down again. Look at him, le prone."
Right.
I know it's a meme, but it's like when Dashy kept getting scapegoated, even though he was playing well. Like, just because Pred's laying down in this impossible situation that his teammates fucked him over on, it's not Pred's fault. He's just trying to play his life and bust.
Here we have another a fun little COD competitor. The Reddit's been really on OpTic's head right now. So friendship ended with Hook. Now Pred is my scapegoat. Here we go. You know,
I can't lie. It's pretty crazy to see. Obviously, look, we'll dive into the series in a couple minutes here, but like, if you'd have told me coming into this season that Pred would end up being the scapegoat, I'd have been like, there's always a scapegoat on OpTic. So we got to understand. Since the dawn of time, OpTic have always had a scapegoat. Like, whether it was Nadeshot, whether it was Karma. I mean, people, I think, forget the days where OpTic would lose a tournament in Infinite Warfare, or they'd lose a tournament in Black Ops 3, even Advanced Warfare, and the community would be saying, yep, Karma, he's not good enough. He doesn't bring enough slaying. Yeah, well, great job, Karma. Like, you done the dirty work, but we didn't win, did we? Mm-hmm. And obviously missing the point that in 80% of tournaments, that was getting the win. But you can't win every time. That's how it is. You can't win every time. And even when it's not a player,
you can't win it too.
God
damn. Trey, at the moment,
sorry.
You can't win at all, Trey. You're back on the money. Well, you're not wrong. But and then the scapegoat went from being the players to the coach in Vanguard when they were having problems. In Modern Warfare 2, when they were having problems, all of a sudden it was Ramo-Ray. Ramo-Ray was the... Look, I'm not saying that these instances of a scapegoat do not have some degree of a valid criticism, but it's just a natural thing with every iteration of every OpTic team that there's always some sort of scapegoat somewhere. And every time an OpTic team is formed, you've got to look at it and think, all right, if this goes badly wrong, who's the scapegoat? Last year was obvious. It was always going to be Hook because he was never the plan, and it was meant to be Pred in the first place. If the team was underperforming, it was all like, well, you know, if we had Pred, would be better. And that was probably true. But here we are today with Pred is effectively the one where people are most saying, yeah, if Pred was to go and you were to bring in, let's say, Hydra, then they'd get better. I don't know if that's, you know, clear. There's a lot to be said on that potentially. But going into the season, if I had to predict a scapegoat, I'd have probably said Kenny Ray, because he's the player coming in from the outside. He's a player that is not going to be known to be so good online generally. So for lots of the online games, you can see repercussions on that. And of course, his Modern Warfare 2 season wasn't great by his standards at all. So I think that would have been my predicted scapegoat. But here we are. And Kenny, I think OpTic fans have recognized his importance, although he hasn't necessarily played great for the last few series. And it's Pred who's under the spotlight.
Yeah, it's shocking to me. It's honestly shocking to me that Pred is the one who people are trying to scapegoat here. He's been a key factor in their S&Ds. I know maybe in Respawns he's had some lackluster series, just overall, but S&D he's been holding up pretty well, especially in their last run and win at the major. I think people have such recency bias, especially when it comes to such a big organization like OpTic that commands so much of the attention of the Call of Duty landscape. Everyone's just remembering the last series. This losing streak they're on is not helping any of the perception on his gameplay or the team's gameplay. But to boil it down that it's just AG or Pred's problem is I feel like it's just minimizing how much of a greater issue OpTic are having gameplay wise with this new meta. I also want to include that I'm going to have some stuff to say about the new meta as well. It's definitely not benefiting them at all. And it's a bigger issue than just Pred. Boiling it down to him is very unfair, and I think it's pretty stupid of the OpTic fan base to think Pred is the issue here solely.
I think all you fans need to stop this whole fucking bro, who do we look at to drop? They've just won Major 3. They're in a little bit of a slump right now. Stop looking at someone to scapegoat. Like, the things I see on Reddit these days, like, you guys are not even happy that they've just won a major. Like, yeah, they're in a little bit of a slump, but like, they've just proven they're the best team in the world. Every team has a slump. Toronto after Major 1, massive slump.
Yeah.
FaZe after Major 2, you know, they went on a massive S&D loss and slump, and OpTic beat them at the Major 3. Like, bro, people go through these slumps. It's all about how they get themselves out of it. And let me tell you, you guys ain't helping by saying, oh, Pred needs to get dropped, or, you know, all these memes on Reddit, all this kind of stuff. Like,
people think the players are robots. Like, they don't see this stuff. They think like this negative energy and attention, it doesn't get seen or felt by the players themselves or the team, the people behind the scenes, all that. Also, didn't New York last year after their first win get like top 12th or 8th after their first major win?
Yeah, I think they came top. I think
eight
it was
or
top 8 in Boston.
Right. Yeah, they won the first, then they got top 8. So like, I'm not saying it's going to happen on OpTic at Major 4, although I have my concerns only because it's a fanless event. So I am a little concerned just for that specific factor. But slumps after wins are fairly normal. It's the first time that we're having this, you know, a 4-game losing streak for OpTic in history, I guess, in the CDL history. But to boil it down to just Pred is unfair.
We got Papa Bear coming in. I heard Dashy is pulling his not getting to practice on time like he did before. Where do you guys hear these things?
Where are you?
I swear, like, it comes to them in a dream. I don't
Where do you guys hear these things? Like, listen, I'm gonna be real. If we haven't heard of it, you definitely haven't heard of it.
Nah, Papa Bear's got sources, bro. Look, if you want to DM me your sources, like, I'm down. Or like DM me the info. Because this is speculation as far as I'm concerned.
I have the greatest leaker here. I have the greatest information guy here. Tactical Rab. All right. If he doesn't have the information, Papa Bear 806. Unless you're Dashy's pops, you don't have the information,
brother.
Nah, Papa Bear might have the intel.
Brother, I put my ear outside. I can hear OpTic coming right now. Okay, if I put my ear right outside that door, I can hear them talking right now. Your info source is meat, unless they said this publicly on a podcast or something like that. I promise you, you're just making it up. Stop making it up. Don't do that. Not good. Not good for
I mean, you like, I don't know. Something's going wrong though, bro. Like, I mean, their practice can't be good at the moment. Something's clearly happening. Whether it's Dashy turning up late or not, I don't know. All I'm saying is, if Dashy's committed enough to really hitting out the gym after all this shit, then like, surely he's going to be turning up to practice.
Listen, I didn't want to bring it up, but I fear Trey was again.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Oh no!
Choke slam me now. Where's the Undertaker?
If you go back to our episode when they came back, and they were out, and they all went they all done their little side quest after Major 3.
Wait, what do they call when people come on our show? They've actually mentioned it on the flank. What was it? They go on their press tour?
World tour.
Yeah, their press tour. OpTic were going on their little press tour.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I fear they wasn't. I fear they got a little bit complacent after that win.
Oh,
I fear. Also, Prem Carrier. I like Trey, but he's got some faded takes. You are faded, brother. Get off the pack. All my takes are legit. Name me one take that's not true. Name me one take that's not true, and I'll admit it right now.
All right, hey, so let's go to the matches page, and let's just run through what actually happened this weekend, because, I mean, we've got to talk about your Minnesota ROKKR.
Okay.
The boys come through. They played 2 games. Both games were more competitive than I thought they would be in some respects.
How do we jump from the most hype to the least hype? How do we do that so fast? I thought we're on this OpTic. We're going to see the 4-game losing streak. We're going to go in that? Or are we going to just...
No, we got, look, you don't understand content. We have to close out the episode with OpTic to generate the watch time. Yeah?
Yeah, because people are going to skip to it. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. We're at the Minnesota. We'll start with the Minnesota ROKKR. The new look.
You would suck in the Tech Academy.
I failed that course. Yeah, that lesson.
He's already got an A star on this shit.
Holy shit! Okay, B- already.
He's struggling for a B.
My average is suffering now.
Yeah, get paid in that Riyadh rate, buddy.
So the Minnesota ROKKR, after these last two matches, we have an L and an L. New York Subliners, Toronto Ultra, 1 week without accuracy in the starting lineup. We had Spart, of course, replacing because actually due to family issues had to go home. So we have Spart in this lineup for the time being. Let's look at some of these results. Again, as Rab said, closer than we imagined with the exception of this game 1 or this map 1 sub base against New York, which I think is the worst hardpoint differential, I think, in CDL. I might be, I don't know if any of the stats guys in chat want to correct me there, but I think 38 to 250 is the worst hardpoint ever in CDL. Yeah.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
It is the worst this year. I
think I remember which
it's
one.
third all time. It's third all time.
What is
People
the,
in
Wasn't there a
chat will know
20?
the
Wasn't
worst.
there a 22-point club? Or am I mistaken?
I think there's something in the 20s. The worst ever is 14
14.
Thieves.
Oh,
The people
14.
know, which is like incredibly abysmal. Like, imagine how many more years of the CDL we'd have to do to see someone get 10-point clubbed. You know what I mean? Like, that was year 2 of the CDL, and we saw someone get put in the 15-point club. Like, the 10-point club might take another like 20 years of CDL to see a 10-point club. That's how rare 250 to 14 was.
We appreciate everyone that comes on the
was
show.
insane.
We appreciate everyone that comes on the show. But Standy.
It seems like it's karma, baby. The karma might be biting back.
Listen, come on and talk about your team. But my word, don't come in there and start doing all that, because my word, you got clapped first map. Wow.
yeah, map
Bro,
1.
that 3 kills.
Map
Oh,
1, 3
no.
and 17, 0.18 KD. Let's keep it clear, though. Tommy, ZooMaa, Paparazzo,
To the west.
you're still the worst. You still held the bottom of the barrel basket. It came close. It came real close, but it didn't break to the bottom. Very close.
Be honest. Be honest. Am I getting more than 3 kills?
You?
Yeah.
On a sub base with a sub like he had, or an AR? Or
Not for any gun
flipped.
possible. I'm getting more than 3. I promise you. I'll put my whole family's life on it. I'm getting more than 3.
Yeah, I think you're getting 3 or above. If I had to bet on it, I'm saying you're getting 3 or above for sure. Somebody said
There was speculation here, actually. I don't know if you were just going to mention that in chat about the no warm-ups. Was that what you were going to say, Ace, or much?
No, go ahead. You already said it, so go ahead. Just continue.
Yeah. Just people were talking about this, right? Because obviously Standy last week came on the show, was talking about how OpTic were going to get karma or it was karma for OpTic because they'd not warmed up Minnesota in scrims and all this. You know, he was talking about karma. It was fantastic entertainment. Standy, great guest. We'll have him on again anytime. But there was talk about after ROKKR broke those GAs, they threw the couple of smokes down to make the comeback against OpTic. There was maybe a bit of stair glitching going on. There was some speculation that maybe the pros had rescinded their warm-ups, shall we say, from the matches that they eventually played this week. It could have just been this one. There is an argument, given their Game 1 performances even in their next series, that it could have potentially been the next one as well. Nobody's commented on this, which I'm kind of surprised at. Like, if this was actually true, I would have expected somebody to say something. But it's only speculation at this point. But both series that ROKKR played this week, so they got absolutely clapped on Game 1. Like, it was bad. Like, this Toronto series was the same story. They got 80-point clubbed Game 1. Which is, again, one of the worst losses we've seen of the entire year.
Shocking to see. One shocking thing about this is that Linz also had in this map 1, at least this start, and this series actually against Toronto, Linz was in hell. Standy was too, but Linz, honestly, a rare 0.7 out of him was really shocking to see.
We got
Sib in the chat. Yeah, they had a warm up. I'm in the rep chat. Don't think anyone else said anything about that.
Oh shit!
There you go. You see, so no excuses. They just got their shit clapped. Okay. Well, at least we know that's true now.
All I'm saying is I don't see Standy in the chat. Because listen, last week that guy was on smoke. This week he's hiding in the smoke because he ain't there. He's hiding away from that series.
Well, okay, wait. Actually, no. What Dante says here again, this begs the question. What Dante's saying here, though, is now breaking GAs. Does it matter anymore? They broke GAs, but they're getting warm-ups still. This is my team, again, the team that I'm supporting, but I'm just bringing up the fact. If we break GAs now, what are the consequences? Have we just now thrown it all in the air? It doesn't matter? As we're approaching the most important tournament of the year, GA consequences don't matter anymore, I think that's a scary precedent, honestly.
I feel like everyone's breezing past the GAs because listen, we had Standy on the show.
We have Vickle in the chat as well. Mentioning
we had Standy on the show. We had Vickle on the show, and even the stair glitch and shit. People are saying, yeah, people are doing that. Like we had, was it Standy basically saying that Carolina do it all the time now? So.
It's so I mean, it's a little concerning to me. What is at certain point is this all gonna boil down to just everyone Major 4 or at champs potentially just starts balls to the wall, doesn't even matter. There's no consequences. Because, there weren't any.
Because listen, we saw the Standy clip where he stair glitched. Obviously didn't
allegedly
get the kill. No, never wrong. But we had it with a stair glitch, and we got Standy basically saying Carolina stair glitch all the time. And then a bunch of other teams stair glitch all the time, and then also Minnesota coming in and basically throwing 2 smokes in S&D. It just feels like there's no repercussions for this. You do this, I feel like you do this Major 1, Major 2, they lose scrims for a week or something like that. It's kind of, I feel like the pros just breeze past it.
Dante says, we've talked about punishing breaking GAs, but nobody's about business, so we'll see. Oh, man, very weird.
Listen,
there's not much more time to see. That's kind of my concern.
I'm just going to say this right now. I truly believe that what happened to Surge, I don't know, they had like a week ban of scrims, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
After their
it wasn't as crazy as it should have been, honestly.
I think this Minnesota one should have been even crazier because this is the 10 points they needed for champs. And which fucks everyone else over because the top team should obviously beat the bottom team. Yeah, they should get more punished for this, doing it so close to champs for taking 10 points of OpTic and pushing themselves up. That's a bigger one in my opinion than anything major.
I mean, to be fair, again, this is my team we're speaking on too. The 2 smokes is definitely a GA break. That is 100% GA break. No question. It's not in the air. It's not a snake that someone can debate or say, what did he try to? It's 2 smokes on the map. It's probably the most blatant break of a GA that we've seen. Can we agree?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's 2 fucking smokes.
It's the most blatant version of it. In the most important S&D, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is probably the worst one.
Vickle coming in, argument is always it didn't affect the outcome of the match. Like, I understand that, but...
Does AG die in the middle of the map if that second smoke isn't there?
Listen, it still happened, all right? And like I said, this is coming up to crunch time going into champs. I feel like not even a week ban. I feel like that might be a bit too harsh coming up to champs. Maybe even like a 2-day ban from pro scrims. Just something like that. Just so you're like, bro, at least some sort of fucking... Because right now I feel like in my head, it's kind of running a bit rampant. Especially with, stair glitching and people saying, oh, other people are doing it too. Like, I feel like it's going a bit crazy.
Yeah.
And even as Vickle says, the argument is that it didn't affect the outcome of the match, which is the argument that is usually made. But in the case of this ROKKR series, like, it absolutely did affect the outcome of the game because the smoke that was down there in mid against OpTic, like, if that smoke wasn't there, I think it was Lin's, probably doesn't stay alive. So, yeah, I agree. I think this was, frankly, a bit of an inevitability as the season went on. We were always going to find ourselves in a situation where GA started to get broken, punishments weren't necessarily upheld. I'm just hoping that they're, like, mostly upheld until champs. Could you imagine, though, like, let's say at champs, things run relatively smoothly. Maybe 1 or 2 times somebody stakes a heady for the win. The Esports World Cup could be an absolute bloodbath, like, is anyone going to follow GAs at EWC?
Hey, the last time Snake was in.
Well, okay, to be fair, a lot of the international teams do snake. The Spanish snake.
Wow.
The Saudi snake.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna put that in the air. They do snake.
If you guys need a professional snaker, the kid is back. If you guys need one for the EWC, the kid. He was a prime snaker back in the day. He's got you guys on.
Hey, Brody, if you don't learn Arabic in the next 2 weeks, you better get on your Arabic and start go Team Falcons. You better be repping Team Falcons in the next 2 weeks right now. Learn your Arabic, get it locked in, and I better see you on the main stage of Team Falcons leading the lads to victory like Lawrence of Arabia and shit, right?
Yeah, I'll fucking win a series and sprint back and do another fucking watch party with the boys. Doing it all.
I love that. We need that to happen. But yeah, back to the Minnesota. Minnesota was just against GAs, all that aside. 2 very tough matches, and again, they boiled down to a lot closer of series than I think any of us imagined with Spart on the team. Only 14 days, very soon, straight from challengers. They took NYSL to a MAT 5. Let's go. Where is that? Took NYSL to a
I was
MAT 5.
impressed by his play, especially in Search and Destroy. Like, I think, and they really should have won this MAT 5, man. Like, I don't know what this brother Stanley was doing.
Yes.
Yeah. But like some pretty serious misplays in this round, the round 11 in the end. ROKKR up 4-1 in the game 5. They squander it. It goes round 11. They lose it. Could have been a very different story. If ROKKR are at 150, if they were 3-3 at 150 points, like it's still there for the taking. It's still there, right? I mean, we're going to obviously look at the standings in the coming minutes because it's honestly even better than I thought it would be in terms of the standings right now going into champs. Every single week you seem to see the games all go in exactly the way that you hope that they will to make the fight as entertaining as possible. So hopefully that continues because it's not far away. But the thing is for Spart, like they're probably not going to make champs. Realistically, I don't think they're going to make champs. If Spart's shown in these couple of games and maybe next week or whatever, maybe at the major, that he's got what it takes on some level, then he can find himself back into the league. I think my concern here really is probably for Standy, just because I don't really know what Standy's his average. If you just look at his average stats, Ace, they're probably quite. His averages are probably quite expected, but I swear he either has godlike series or he just gets shit on. I mean, like, yeah, okay, 0.92 overall. It's actually not great, but his Search and Destroy has been good. If you look at his series, like he will have some stinkers and he will have some godlike series. Like it's either he's taken over or he's getting farmed. I swear that's true. And the 2 series he plays this weekend, he has a 0.7 or 0.8, whatever it was. And then a 0.66, I think it was, against Toronto. Like, it absolutely farmed. And okay, Lindsay gets farmed as well, but like that's not happening in every series.
But to be fair, I mean, when Standy was brought onto the team in general, did we sat here and all pretty much had the same expectation that it wasn't going to be a respawn or especially hardpoint masterclass at a Standy? That was our expectation, right? That wasn't what we spoke about. It was for them to solidify their S&D game, which I think everyone on this team basically. Gunless, Lins, even Spart now, and Standy, this should be an S&D masterclass team, which is why, again, I know this guy, Trey Zero, the gray-haired Silver Surfer Demon, thinks I'm wrong to say that this is an S&D team, but they can't close out, but they do take the top teams far into series or far into their S&D rounds. Unfortunately, the addition of Spart, even Standy, again, it doesn't solve the respawns problem that they've had. I wish... If time was rewinded, right, if things could happen differently, I wish ROKKR maybe dialed up Benjamin Beans' phone at the time and put Lamar and Beans together or something, because then it would have been a little bit more balanced with the respawn carrying, or even brought 04 in, who isn't that great at respawn, but at least now you have more of an aggressive sub, even if he's not playing that well or getting that many positive series. At least he's being aggressive, so Lins could play around him and kind of play his style with 04 in that sense. But S&D, at least they look competitive. But again, just criminal losing to NYSL how they did, and even the Toronto loss was criminal. Even how they lost the last rotation of that Vista was criminal. So it's just a lot of trolling out of them. Better than we expected, but still, Minnesota should be up plus 20 points, to be honest, or at least went to a game 5 plus 10 points. I believe. We also, good news, Dante Sib is coming on.
Hey, we got a nice spam in the chat. We got a nice copy.
Yeah, I need to allow all. Hang on, I need to press allow all these. Here we go.
We got Aspect coming in.
He
He redeemed a message at GG Breaking Point. Trey, I was a fan of yours when you were in the league, but seeing how you talk to people saying they saw a post, now I see why a team won't waste time on you. You can go fuck yourself.
He cooked your shit.
He did. You know, as someone who, you know, feels like he's very respectable to people, you know, you can suck on these balls, Aspect, mate, alright? Suck on these, mate, alright? You fucking rat, mate.
Holy shit,
alright, that's all I gotta say.
You're comedy.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Oh no, it's been clipped up.
Comedy.
It's all over. It's all
That's
over.
all I
Oh,
gotta say.
we have a guest.
Excuse me?
There we go. Dante.
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me?
So, yeah, I can hear you. No, Cam or no Cam?
I didn't know Cam. I should fucking. I'm trying to get it to work, but if I get it to work, I can turn it on. But it's just.
All right,
fucking
we'll leave
bugged.
it. We'll do this for now then. All good, all good, all good. Let me get you straight. What you doing right now?
Just finishing washing dishes. I hit the gym after this.
Are you taking tips from the CDL referees? You've been watching their VOD?
The what?
You're watching.
Oh yeah,
Washing
yeah,
the
nah,
dishes,
nah,
yeah.
nah. That's insane. But
Wait, you're not sore after 5 days of hitting the gym? You didn't do Dashy's PT?
nah, I'm not. I don't get sore anymore. Unfortunately.
You're still going consistently even during the season?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Definitely with our schedule as well. But I try my best. Just gotta go whether you're tired, not tired.
You've been frying lately. You think getting back? Have you got more into the routine of the gym, or have you been doing the gym the entire time? Is it helping? Is it tied to you frying recently? What's going on here?
I definitely think me frying recently has just been the team dynamic. Like, I don't wake up one day and be like, I'm not gonna miss a bullet today, or tomorrow I'm just not gonna shoot straight, or tomorrow I'm just not gonna play good. I think I've been the same way this whole year. I think it just depends on how the team's working together, and recently our practice has been a lot more deliberate. So, and especially playing at top 4 teams, like their practice is a lot more consistent than ours, especially FaZe, especially Toronto, especially OpTic. So, like if you look at our past tournaments and who we were playing against, I mean, first of all, we choke a lot. We didn't know how to use streaks in hardpoint. We had 3 streaks versus OpTic, lost the map. We had 3 streaks, insane. Should be unlosable, right? And then just hardpoint in general, choked a lot, go up leads, choke a lot. And then also practice not being that productive and not actually deliberate and consistent. Like we may have good practice or okay practice, but it's not as consistent as you need it to be to perform at the top level without actually like playing the game and actually just going autopilot basically. So it's kind of hard to really be confident as a team. Like we're all confident individually in our own gameplay. Like I've never lost confidence in my gameplay, never lost confidence in my decision making or my IQ or my whatever it is. But as far as executing a game plan together, the confidence, I mean, if you don't have good practice, I mean, you're not going to be as confident. And then you compare to FaZe, I mean, they're fucking they're executing the same game plan every single time you play them. It's the same shit, So like, they don't really have to really think about it as much. And also, they have a less percent chance of actually messing it up or not being on the same page compared to us. If we're not as confident in our game plan, we make more errors, half-second decisions we mess up on because we assume someone's doing this or we assume we're gonna do this. So it's kind of stuff like that. I feel like hinders, I mean, just me a lot too, and just the team in general. So I feel like if we can actually be deliberate and stuff like that, I mean, we have a good chance of actually doing something. And if not, then I mean, you'll see us fucking just be a waste of talent. So
what's Javed saying about the choking stuff, Sib? Because I know that he's like a big mental guy.
I mean,
He's
that's our
talking. I'm
biggest
sure
thing
he's
to work
talking to you about it, like how to figure out when you're up in these situations. Obviously, that map 4 against OpTic is one that stands out because it shouldn't have even needed to go to map 5. It's like those, especially when you get to LAN, right? Because online sometimes these things don't happen, but on LAN it's like I feel like the risk can be exacerbated sometimes just because of the pressure.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing we've been working on, and it's all about just slowing the game down, taking our time, and making sure that we're all doing the same thing. We're not scamming. I think that's probably just the biggest thing, and also because we get big leads and we start getting a little greedy. You know what I'm saying? I get a little greedy. We all get a little greedy sometimes. So one person gets a little greedy, messes up, and then it just kind of snowballs, and that's what you don't want. And especially, like I said, against the top 4 team, if you make a mistake, they're most of the time, 99% of the time, they're gonna capitalize on it, and they're gonna capitalize it pretty hard. So it's just you can't be messing up stuff like that versus the top teams. And I mean, like I said, like we played OpTic on Vista, Major 3, had 3 streaks, and we ain't losing. Like we ain't hot. Like I just don't. That shit is it's unacceptable. You know what I mean? It's unacceptable. But at least it's hardpoint that we have to work on since we scrim hardpoint every day. It's not like it's like S&D or some shit. Like we just like S&D I feel like is a lot harder to fix in my opinion. But at least hardpoint you play every single day, twice a day, 2 or 3 times a day. You play it same shit every day. So I think I'd rather be not good at hardpoint because we don't know how to slow down, or we're not good at hardpoint because we don't know what to do with the kills or how to play it correctly when we get them, rather than not getting enough kills or not even being able to put ourselves in a spot to be in a position to actually have a 150-point lead or 3 streaks, you know? So I think there's upsides to it as well. So
It's always kind of confusing with you guys because you guys always seem like kills is never the issue, right? You're always ahead in that regard. Like, getting kills is never the problem.
Yeah,
but it's just like positioning a lot of the time. How do you? I know you talk about good practice and being on the same page, but like, what kind of conversation? What do you say when it's we're frying, no one's really having issues with kills, just be in the right spot? Like, what is the what are you saying to your teammates, or like what are they saying to you to try to correct positioning more rather than like gameplay? You get what I'm trying to say?
yeah, I mean, we look at how many kills that we are getting and what we are doing, and obviously we watch it back. Maybe in the moment it may not seem as drastic because it's in the moment, but obviously we watch it back and we actually realize, okay, this is what we should be doing. And then we also watch like other teams, other top teams, and how they break. Like for example, like on P2 Karachi, right, we get 2 kills and we're still top plat. Like we're still top plat, we get 2 kills, we're still up there. You know what I mean? We need to hit a go button. We're top fire, we get 2 kills, the last 2 are on time or by time or whatever. We gotta go. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that, we just watch other teams and we also watch it back ourselves, saying that we need to do it. And the only thing that you really can do to actually fix that is keep honing in on it and constantly put yourself in those situations so when you're in them, you automatically know what to do. You know what I mean? But there's also a lot of times where, especially playing like the bottom, 8 teams or whatever, like you get in situations a lot of the time where it never happens. Like for example, 6-star Vegas, I brung up a rotation. Like I made a mistake personally. I made a mistake on a P2 to P3 rotation on 6-star versus Vegas, and I go look at every single 6-star we played, scrims, warm-ups, matches. From when 6-star came out, never encountered that exact situation ever. Never. That was the only time we ever encountered that situation. I went back, did every single VOD, every single scrim, every single warm-up, doesn't matter what it was. So like stuff like that, like it's kind of a little bit tricky to like actually make the right decision sometimes, but like I said, it's just about actually putting ourselves in those positions a lot of the times. And like if you can't do that, you're not going to be as confident. Like you're going to hesitate, and most of the time, 9 times out of 10, if you hesitate, you're making the wrong decision anyway. So.
I have an interesting, it's an interesting question, but for Major 4, obviously we have no fans, right? No one's gonna, no fans and all that. For your team, do you actually think that gives you guys an advantage or a disadvantage having no fans at the venue?
I think it gives the lower teams a better advantage.
Okay. Well, I mean specifically for you guys, for New York. Do you think that for you guys specifically, do you think it gives you more confidence or less confidence or the same?
I think it's the same, honestly. I think for the top 4 teams, it's less adrenaline and less dope, so they might get caught slipping a little bit more. Even though it's an event at the end of the day, it's still land, there's no excuses, but I could still see it happening. Because it's no fans, it just feels like a local event. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's like playing in the bubble.
That's kind of what I thought in my head. I asked the question I think a couple weeks ago. I was like, is a Major 4 victory here? Is it a real chip or is it like a foo-foo chip?
Right. Yeah. It's me personally, going from Major 3 from Toronto to online to then going to Birmingham with no fans is like a drastic difference. Like even just going from Toronto to online, the game is insanely different. I've never felt the game that drastically different coming from a LAN event like that before.
Well, speaking on the drastic change, I wanted to get your opinion on this new meta, the AR, right? The AR now having the headshot multiplier back in. Do you feel the difference? Do you think that's helping your gameplay? Clearly, you've been frying.
Fuck no, it's not helping.
Oh, well, clearly 22,000 damage, my guy. What do you mean it's not helping?
Yeah, but I feel like that's pretty normal for me, regardless if it helps or not. Like if I'm obviously being put in the positions to actually do that and actually put myself in those positions to actually do what I have to do, I feel like that's a standard for me. But I think with this new meta, it's definitely like I lay down a lot, I crouch out a lot, or like I side cancel, lay down, make gunfight a lot. So a lot of times I'm getting 4-bulleted, and it's definitely annoying. So I've been trying to get in the habit of not doing that as much and trying to jump more, trying to strafe a little bit more and stuff like that. But I don't
Helps the
think.
bad players, yeah. That's the
definitely.
issue.
Because it's actually insane. Like the gunfights, like when we go to land on Burbank, I think the sub in the AR is gonna be astronomically just insane. Like where you're gonna see some insane kills for sure. It's definitely insane. I ain't gonna lie. It's definitely like wow. Motherfuckers
Yeah,
is getting
Vickel's saying
deleted.
in the chat about like how the meta in the first couple of majors is worse than this. I guess that's kind of my point. I definitely think what we're currently playing is worse than what it was when it was a 5-bullet, but also it's not like that dissimilar to what it was at the start of the season, right? And then like you guys were just 3-0ing all the bottom teams. So I don't really know what's changed between now and then, I guess. Maybe the other teams actually have got better, but
I think it's just. I think it's.
I think these people are
like,
just bored. For being honest, we're
that's
just
what
bored.
Scruffy said. Scruffy
Like, we're
actually
just
said that. He
bored,
was like,
man.
"OpTic are too bored to watch VOD of like Vegas." Which
100%.
I kind of get.
Like, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything. I think all the like other 8 teams are good. But like respectfully, like we played Minnesota ROKKR, we 38-point clubbed them. I'm like, bro, I ain't even playing a real game. Like I ain't even like what are we doing? Like I just got on turn. You know what I'm saying? Did all this stuff like these motherfuckers we spawning in, we getting 3 kills. Like come on, like that's insane. Like 3 kills is insane.
That's
Like
what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Dane. Like the top teams, like they don't look as good because the bottom teams look like the bottom teams look better than the top teams. But that's because I feel like the top teams are just getting. I'm not trying to say it's an excuse, but like I feel like you guys aren't trying as hard. Like
100%.
mentally,
Subconsciously, yes. Subconsciously,
Yeah.
yes. I hate to say it, but subconsciously, yeah, because it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. We made champs. We look at
As
the
long as you
points.
make winner bracket for Major
Yeah.
4, but like
Yeah, who
even
gonna
Major
get?
4 kind of sucks too. Obviously you want to win it, but like no fans, no nothing. Like it's
No
a
dope.
cheese event too.
No dope at all.
I will say though, I will say this stage, like I'm a big hater of New York Hardpoint just literally because of what you said.
Same.
Pretty much, you guys have the kills, you guys have everything that works. My hate towards your Hardpoint is that you guys literally do everything right, and you either win the game by 10 or lose the game by 10.
Yeah.
But this split, you've actually been crushing teams. Like actually, like crushing teams pretty bad. You've had close games, close losses, close wins, but you've actually like you said, 40-point club Minnesota. The Ravens was pretty straightforward. That was easy to do too.
Yeah.
Like, is the practice in Hardpoint just actually paying off now?
Yeah, 100%. That's what it comes down to. You being confident in the game plan, you being confident in what situations you're putting yourself in. That's all it comes down to. And if we were, you know, being as deliberate as we are now early in the season, then you probably would have saw a different New York team.
I mean, I spoke to Javid at the major. He came on the show for a little bit, and I asked him about the same thing. And he was like, "Our issue is not the players. Like, he'd be more worried if it was about a player getting shit on because you look at so like, oh shit, we might have to drop this guy.
Yeah.
But he said the issue that our players are getting kills but not doing anything with them is not the worst issue to have.
Yeah. Nah, that's what I'm saying. There's some upsides to it, but like I said, we have 2 events, and you know what I'm saying. We don't got no time to be sitting here. Ain't doing nothing with no kills, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, especially against these top teams, like they're good at hardpoint as well. So we're just gonna have to capitalize on it. And if we don't, then I'm gonna be infuriated for sure. I mean, definitely.
I mean, you guys have got the ice now.
Yeah.
You guys won. What was it, 3 map 5s?
Yeah. I think we always had the ISO since the beginning, though. I think the ISO wasn't. I think we always had it. I think it was always just specifically hardpoint. Always hardpoint. But
I've always said it's your hardpoint. I've always said it's your hardpoint because
you guys are dangerous as hell in S&D. Dangerous.
You guys outslay pretty much everyone in hardpoint, even in a loss, even in a win. But the wins are close and the losses are close, regardless. Yeah. But now, like I said, you could if you go look at the stats, like to everyone in there, go to the website. You guys can see that these guys are slamming with kills and actually slamming in game.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, and also, I will say another problem was not also moving after getting kills, but just being efficient. Being efficient, getting efficient kills, high impact kills, like Ernie Scrap. Like I feel like when you watch him, like when he gets his kills, he drops all the damage. Like he's efficient, he's impactful on the map. He moves. He may look a little body, may look a little default robotic a little bit, but he does it efficiently, and he He knows how to get the kills. Sometimes we get kills and respond like we're getting kills, but we're spawning in the behind us when the new hill pops. Or we're getting kills and we're they're like we're getting kills, getting sure spawning across the map, and we don't even break the hill. Like we're playing for kills that we have to break the hill. You know what I mean? So situations like that, I think, also tie into it. Where it's not that we're getting kills, but we don't really know how to play for the kills. And I think that's what also comes into play as well, as long as with along with moving after you get the kills, so you can break the hill. So I think just getting those things down, being impactful kills, getting impactful kills, and knowing what to do with kills is main focus for sure.
I was just going through your guys' like 4 matches. Your last. You guys, I click on them. I keep trying to find out like what's like your best mode out of all of them, and I was thinking, I don't need work and control. You're 2-2 and controlling them. Is it 3 and? Yeah, 2-2 and control, and I'm like, maybe they're winning all the hard points. You know, you won a few hard points here and there. Like, is that just like, I feel like control is like just a swing game, but is that just one of those game modes where it's like defense heavy, especially when people play evasion? I don't know about high rise because high rise seems fairly split to me, and I think you guys are pretty good at high rise if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we definitely run high rise for sure.
You've played every map.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean we're good at every control map.
I was thinking.
Map. That's why we played in Karachi as well. Like we know OpTic.
Do you guys try and stray away from invasion though?
No.
Made it out.
No, I think it's just depending on what the other team is actually good at and what chance they have of best beating us on. I think, but we're pretty good at every single control map, and that's why we played OpTic on it too, because we know they're good at it, but we know that we're also good at it as well. So, and playing them is definitely a really good rep, regardless if we won or lost. I mean, we should have lost third map, so they chose. But yeah, I don't think we've ever lost high rise any map, any game mode. But
I got two more questions for you. One is for that, just because I want to ask the Vegas, the Legion series, right?
Yeah.
You guys went 0-3, just it looked like a smoke show all of a sudden, but then you come out, 3-2 against Minnesota and 3-2 against OpTic. The week before against Surge, it looks good. What was it about Legion, or maybe that week, that kind of threw you guys off?
We came in pretty flat. I think, yeah, we just came in pretty flat. We were playing them, and we were like, what are they doing? Like, it was just like you could definitely feel when you're playing, it's like they're playing for checkouts almost. Like, it's like are we playing the game here? Like, what's going on here? So, like, I don't know, just that thought, I guess, kind of like made us come out a little flat. Just like, bro, these guys are so bad. Like, just like, bro, what am I playing? Like, just like, what are we? I'm not playing the same game. We're playing 2 different games. So the fact that like that was like a thought, I think that was just like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, bro, they got it, bro. Like, like
Legion,
the way they're playing
plays the game just a little differently than top teams and how it's kind of more organized and stuff. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I think they played okay. It was just like the way, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I don't know. Like, they were playing it so weird. Like, they were playing it for like, I don't know. They were just playing like nobody wanted to die. Like, they were playing like, it's not they were playing there's a difference between playing your life and like playing like you just never want to die. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was weird. They were just playing the game really weird.
Virginia server cheese, I'm hearing.
I mean, the only person who was on had pink cheese was Johnny. Johnny was on a 10 ping. Everyone else was on 30. So that's why it was cheese.
Interesting.
But but other than that, I mean, there's really no one else really has pink cheese except Johnny. Like, you put us on a Virginia server, like, Johnny's on 10 ping. We're on 34, 32. Like, come on. And it's not real. But I do think playing against them was a bit weird. It felt a bit weird. Like, we've just felt like these guys aren't real. Like, what are they doing? But
so is that is that server thing real to you? Is that server
no,
thing
it's not real? I don't think the ping tool at all is real.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the ping tool at all is real, because you could put us on
It's
a
all
server.
fake COD. We need to be bringing back fake COD as like a name.
Yeah.
People used to say fake COD all the time.
I love
Nobody does it anymore.
the fake COD. Yeah,
Yeah, we need fake COD to come back, I think.
I mean, yeah, like I think playing Vegas wasn't that real, honestly. Like, if we go to LAN, I don't think that the series turns out like that. But respect for them.
An anomaly of a series, basically, is how you see it.
I
mean, we've all called the ping tool cheese ever since like
when you were
CDL,
playing, right?
Like, yeah, bro. It's fucking.
fake.
It's like when you play a full LA team compared to playing like you play full LA. we were in Charlotte at the time and they whack us on a server close to 10, or they whack them on a server close to us and then up the ping. Like, it's horrible.
Just because it's a visually, you see we're on the same thing. We're not on the same thing, I promise you.
It don't work like that, bro. I promise. It's like someone throttling your internet, I swear.
Yeah, like, I promise it's not the same thing. But yeah, I do think it was a little fake a little bit. But I mean, like I said, respect to them. They need this match win. So I mean,
that's what I was saying, bro. Like, especially when you guys leave that series, you guys know you guys are good. Like, you made champs. You know you guys ain't in my opinion, you're probably not losing 3-0 to Vegas on LAN.
Yeah.
Motherfucker was just doing some charity. We appreciate you, Dante, for the charity, right? Much
Hype
love.
shit for my dog Joe.
listen,
flow, man.
Listen,
you're looking out, baby.
Someone did ask this question in the chat, and there's one person that would answer it for like Dante. The question was,
top question.
Who do you think is making champs based on scrims and match? Or you can give the bot.
I would say just from consistency standpoint, I think. So who was just 4? So how many teams make champs?
8 make champs.
So 4 teams. So 4 teams. So
you guys guarantee is with the other 3, and then everyone else is not sure. Miami are at 160, Seattle are at 160, Thieves are at 145, Boston are at 50. The rest of them are at 140. It's actually insane.
Yeah, and everyone's doing charity work, so you know.
Yeah, OpTic just had that 3 wins. So.
Yeah, everyone's taking the OpTic coin these days. I don't know what's going on.
I would say Vegas for sure. I think Vegas for sure makes it.
Okay.
I would be surprised if they didn't. They're actually, I think they're the best one of the best out of them. Then Seattle as well. I think Seattle makes it, and
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. I'll put Miami in there as well, and then the last one would be between LAT and MN, probably. I think MN's a lot more consistent fundamentally, but I think LAT have more gunny, and if they just come out hot one day, I think they can. I think they can. Personally,
just randomly just turn up and take it over.
Yeah, but then again, you could also say LAT is not more consistently in their fundamentals as MN is.
You guys heard it here first. I mean? You heard it here first. I had one more question that it was about the GA stuff, and I know you have to go to the gym and handle your business. But I did want to ask about this GA stuff, right? You have Minnesota breaking a GA. We had some chat between you, Vickle, and some guys in the chat, some of the pros. Why is it that GAs aren't being, I guess, addressed or respected the same way as they were earlier in the season? Is it just because now we're boiling down to the end of the season, or is it just people not responding as much? What's going on with that?
I honestly think it's kind of a matter of the importance, like I think it's just like, okay, like, how do I put this? If someone were, like, say, like, Vegas there glitched me, I mean, yeah, like, obviously they should still be punished, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, you don't want them to stir glitch and you still want to punish them, but I think if it's, I don't know, I just don't think it's that serious to a point where it's like everyone's like, and everyone's ass. Like, as the beginning of the year, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the beginning of the year, every match matters, every single map matters, but now it's just like, I mean, if you're not really in the top 4, no one really gives a fuck about what you're doing, honestly. But I think that doesn't make an excuse for it to not be punished or not be accounted for. But
I think you're saying like you're not going to be as mad as someone else would be because you're already guaranteed champs.
Yeah,
whereas
exactly.
if you done it major 1, you'd be pissed off. But now you're guaranteed champs.
Yeah.
If they done it to each other, then yeah. But I understand where you're coming from.
That's
that.
what
But
I
you
think,
definitely, I think we should definitely still be punished.
100%. There's no excuse for it to not be accounted for and not to be brought up. But
Vickle said in the chat. Vickle said in the chat might not be that serious for you, Sib, but imagine I don't make champs because Vegas took a match against you for using 2 smokes, for example, last map 5-5. Yeah, the 2 smokes thing from ROKKR is really what I'm referring to the most. Like,
100%.
That's the worst break of a GA of the year, probably. So
hey, we ain't saying it ain't wrong. But hey, I'm just saying
you just said you ain't gonna be angry about it because you know the situation of like, oh shit, they gotta make champs to secure their job.
Hey, and to Vickle's point, I said, yo, Vickle, let's rally the troops in the chat.
Oh,
did I not?
Shit.
I said, yo, let's do something about these GAs.
Dope check making changes, baby. Let's go.
I said, let's do something about these GAs, man.
You guys heard it here too. and this goes to every team that plays New York. You are free to fucking break every GA against them because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we did our fair share, you know.
So I can snake your shit, Ollie. Like.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Well, okay.
Just quickly, Dante, before you got you, because I know Vikal mentioned it earlier in the chat. Thanks for joining us, by the way. It's been a pleasure. Just on the Esports World Cup stuff, right? Because like you got 2 more events, and then there's obviously that other event. But it's like, from your guys' point of view, is that real? Are you thinking about that? Like, are you thinking about just champs, or are you thinking about, like, you know, because you got another month to play in this game?
Yeah, motherfucker, I got 2 champs. By the way, I'm looking at it. Shit, hey, they tell me to scrim every day until it's Saudi. Shit, hey, I'll be in there, motherfucker, booking. I'll even book for the team. 1.8 mil, yeah, fly me out. But I think, hopefully,
You need a cheerleader. You need a cheerleader. Like,
yeah. Listen,
You know,
we're
I give
here,
you a
man.
gap.
Hey,
You know,
I know, I got the contact, you know what I mean? But I don't know if everyone's going or not. It's kind of still up in the air. A lot of, especially me, I've had plans for the offseason, like weddings and stuff like that in August. So,
Yeah, but
I
like
don't
1.8
know
mil.
how
You're married to the
everyone
money. What you talking about a wedding?
Yeah, but it's my family, you know what I mean? A family wedding, like, you know what I mean? I can't really miss on it, you know what I mean? Like,
Auntie, I'll buy you a new car. I'll be back in a few weeks. Like, I love you.
type shit. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wedding in Saudi
true.
at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah.
Who says no?
That would be insane.
Wedding at Riyadh.
Salam alaikum. Welcome to the wedding. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, I just don't know if everyone is ultimately down for it, and I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, I don't know if it has to be like all 12 teams have to go, and if not all, if you know 4 of them back out, like what if the bottom 4 teams is like, oh, like we're not gonna really get any money. There's no point in us even playing.
Yeah.
Well, this is what scares me the most
Like-
is that they've made this announcement. Who the fuck's going? It's not planned. There's
Yeah.
nothing planned. Like no, like you know, we've got a professional player from New York here. He's like, yeah, fuck it, I'd love to go. I don't know if I'm going, but I'd love to go.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Like I don't know what's going on over here. They just spawning in money in a tournament. Yeah, come get it. Like we gotta have people from going to plumbers getting that shit if we don't go. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's me. I'm the plumber.
yeah,
Walk me
literally.
down.
Shit. Hey, I know a lot of people take 1.8 million.
Hey, if New York
But-
needs someone, if New York needs anyone, you know, Sid, I
Yes.
mean, if you've got weddings to go to and shit like shit, you know, I'll go.
Yeah, pet spawn me in a little bit.
I'll break a GA for an event. Who
Yeah,
cares?
straight
You
in
know?
there.
Yeah,
Fucking
we
snagging
can.
area. Nah, MC's gonna be snaking.
Oh,
1.8 million. He's gonna-
Yo,
1.8 million is gonna be
listen, I think, no bullshit, I think this will be the most GAs broken at an event ever. Last event, no more scrims after. Who says no?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Who said
insane for
no?
sure.
They're
yeah,
about to rig PCs for Team Falcons. Ain't no money making it out of Saudi, bro.
Yeah,
Team Falcons.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
They're taking that #1 spot, bro. I'm
Yeah,
seeing it.
I would
Man.
not be surprised.
You're gonna do a coin flip
I
for
just
side
don't
A
even-
and side B, and then Falcon's gonna come in and be like, "We want side C." Everyone's like, "There's no side C," and they just unveil like a massive golden like setup behind everyone else. Like,
They just have a whole different PPA.
yeah,
On
like
it. They have their
Oh my
own
God,
facility.
You imagine the Falcons facility out there?
It's probably insane. I just don't know how it's gonna work if 4 teams are invited and 12 teams have to qualify. Like I don't even know how it's gonna work. Like
Apparently, all 12 teams are invited.
all,
but we'll
all
see on
12 teams got invited. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's been said. That's been said. All 12 are
okay.
invited, yeah. Not all.
So, like, you're
not all
guaran-
12
like,
are
you're-
going, but
Yeah,
that.
you're
Right, if your org
guaranteed
says
to go.
yes, then you're good. Like,
Yeah.
so then it would be AM teams and replace then, huh?
we don't
Well,
know.
Or
see,
just
that's
any
the-
team in general.
well, you see, that's the issue. That's what I'm saying in terms of like it's not been planned. All right. So the planning for me would be we've got all 12 teams agreed to go. Let's announce this shit. All 12 teams go. Now we do it. Now we announce as a qualifier. Instead, they've announced the Esports World Cup, and no one's been like it's not been announced that all 12 teams have been going or who if all 12 teams have been invited and who's not going. So like let's say like you said like. Let's say you're the only team that wants to go, Sib. Like New York's the only team that says yes. Where the other 11 spots go?
Yeah.
That's a free 1.8 million for you.
Yep. Shit, I'll
Like-
take it. Hey,
And I'm pretty sure OpTic ain't going, so you know you're guaranteed a little bit more. You know, the more you get.
Oh no. Hey, there's no way. There's no way they don't go.
No,
I mean, Hex said it.
That's been said by Hex
Oh.
and the pod or something that they are not going.
Really?
I haven't got the clip,
Dante
that's what-
and his minor. That's just Fuck the wedding. Fuck the gym. Fuck everything.
Yo, really? Wait. Can't they just go on a different team though? Like, can't they just like?
Well,
That's the
speculation, right?
Yeah, that's what's like. You know, they could go play somewhere else, but like, would Hex allow, you know, their OpTic players like on a moral high ground of like, you are OpTic, you should represent OpTic? Is he gonna let them go?
Yeah.
That's tricky.
The gears are turning.
Just
man.
so like, I don't know why.
It's such a tricky event. That's what I'm saying.
I
This
don't know why
event's
they
gonna be
just
so
announced it though.
sketch.
Like, they should announce this shit a long time ago.
I mean, like when it got rumored, I think, was it Ace? Like you said, it was like 60-40% whether it was going to happen or not. 2 months prior, whether it was going to happen. Like, that's insane. Like, this shit should be planned like a year ago.
yeah, no, it was from my sources, it was 64, like 60% chance of happening, like 3 weeks out from when we heard confirmation. People still didn't know it was happening like 3 weeks out from when it was said that this was even going to happen. Like the first story broken by Jacob Hale and all that. So it's very last minute, and that's why, you know, whether it's Vickle in the chat, Sib with us, or even the sources I'm hearing from, it's definitely not like no one's really sure what's going on, and I'm sure the focus more or less is Major 4 and Champs versus let's prepare for this event in August rather than the two that are coming up in the next month, basically.
Yeah, that's also true as well. I mean, that's definitely how you need to approach it as well. I mean, we don't even, it's not even a for sure thing yet. So I mean, realistically, worrying about it doesn't really do much. So we got Burbank and what is it, Allen, Texas next. So I mean,
yeah, the greatest place of all time.
The fuck, dude?
Wait, have you guys? How is Burbank? I've never been to Burbank. Where the fuck is Burbank? Can I get some insight on Burbank?
Yes, I can give you insight on Burbank. Burbank is at the edge of the valley, between LA and the valley. It's nice. It's cool.
Okay, what is the valley? Can you give me some insight on what the valley is? Like what?
I'm from Calabasas, so like.
So it's Calabasas the valley.
Bro's just saying words.
It's the end of the valley. The valley is the suburban part of LA. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Imagine
when you say valley, I think of a Grand Canyon.
Dude, Dante.
Valley,
wake
Grand
up,
Canyon,
dog.
like.
No, I don't live in the fucking Grand Canyon, dude. Okay, people aren't buying tickets to come see where I live. Okay, I'm not living on a reservation. Okay, man. Listen, when we go to Burbank, I'll be in Burbank. I'll show you around. How about that?
Perfect.
Don't worry.
I want to go. Can you take me to the Griffiths Observatory?
We'll go on a swell date. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Wine and dine you. Don't worry.
I need to go see Betty's backyard, bro.
There you go. The Betty Institute will take you all around LA.
That is the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Betty, shout out my dog. My dog gets better, man.
Yeah,
love him. I love you, Ace.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love the fam. You know what I'm saying? Hope everything, you know, Godspeed.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, bro. Love you too. And also, if you do separate thought, if you want to get some Turkish food tonight, let me know. Hit me up if you're free.
Some Turkish food?
Yeah.
Turkish food in my life.
Hey, okay.
Hold on. No.
What?
Let's roll the dice on this Turkish food.
Dog, have the Abettis ever directed you wrong when it comes to food?
That's okay.
Wait,
yeah.
Trey, look at these guys organizing a date without us. That's crazy.
If you guys were here, I would tell you to come too.
You know what? You can be passenger princess for fucking Dante. Don't worry. Me and fucking Rab are good. Don't worry about it. All right.
Right. Trey, you want to catch a little session?
Dude.
Hold on, A-Lit. A-Lit in the chat.
Dylan, you want to go?
Wait, Dylan, the food was mid?
No. He's capping. They got the wrong thing. Trust me. I got you.
Yo, Dante, out of everyone that you know that said, yo, this place is fire, and you go, it's mid, isn't everyone's excuse, nah, they got the wrong thing, bro. Like, they didn't get
always.
Like, my shit's the best shit, bro.
Dude, no. Oh, man. Hey, just hit me up. You want to go? We're going. You let me know. Come through. Your gym isn't going to take 4 hours, so we're going at like 9 tonight.
I got you, brother.
Yeah. I'll hit you up.
I got you.
All right, brother. Any other final final words?
Listen, man, we're getting better at hardpoint. That's what I want, man. If I need a cheerleader, I got you, Trey. Don't fucking worry. First on the line. First on the contact list. We got that shit.
I'll wear a frilly skirt. I'll get the pom-poms out. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
NYSL. We don't take no L's. Hey.
I don't know if that's going down very well in Riyadh, but I think you might want to be careful.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, shit. I'm not trying to get locked up, bro.
Oh, wait. You can't do that there, bro.
Yeah, you start doing
that. Wait, you can't smoke marijuana either, huh?
Papaya is not allowed in the great country of Saudi Arabia. It's not.
That ghosty is cooked, right?
That ghosty's cooked.
Interesting.
You're canceling. You're canceling. You're canceling your Expedia trip. Your Priceline page you have open right now. You're canceling the trip now.
Yeah. I mean, I might just bring some alternative.
Okay. Handle your
Bro,
business.
be careful, please. Just the whole countries go to this event in Riyadh. Let's just make sure we read the rules.
You know I love you to pieces, all right? I'm not bailing you out of fucking Riyadh, bro.
Fucking Riyadh prison, bro.
I will die. You will die. We're fucked.
Surely there will be a gamer there for sure in that Riyadh prison. Surely.
You gotta think at least one of them goes, right?
At least like you know what I mean. Like
Bro, this is gonna be a crazy thumbnail, man. That's all I'm saying.
Dante, I'll make the call. Don't worry. Whatever you want to do, I'll make the call. You'll be fine in 2 to 3 business days. Don't worry about
That's all I
it.
needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear.
The Abedi Institute will make the calls. Don't worry.
I mean, listen. If there was one pro from the league right now who would get jailed in Riyadh, who do you reckon it'd be?
Low key. One pro.
Oh no.
Oh god.
It might be me, low key. I ain't gonna lie. I might, D-Rose gonna have to put me on clamps.
Yo, low key, it might be Shotzi, bro. I'm gonna say it because that guy, that guy don't.
Ant
think
might be
before
in
he
there on
talks.
some faded shit. He might be in there just because he's Ant.
Yeah. He don't
I
think.
think, bring him in.
Ant's gonna walk up to the prince and just try to dap him up. Just, what's up, bro? What's up, fam?
Yeah.
Awesome shit, you know?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
He's like, dude, who the fuck's this guy? Yeah, dude, why who the fuck's this guy?
He doesn't know what's going on.
Dude, comedy. Absolute
He'll be
comedy.
in cuffs walking out.
I think Clay actually did say that he was going to take the nail polish off as well, so you know.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
I think Clay's probably going to be good.
1.8 mil. You're taking off the nail polish.
Wait, so is it 1.8 mil for the top 8, or like how's it even? Is there any info on that?
It's total prize score plus. Yeah, we have the whole thing actually.
You get 20k for last, 600k for first.
20k for last?
Yeah, dead last 20k.
Oh yeah, these 4 teams, these bottom 4 teams are going.
Yeah, 600k first aim.
Oh, Boston's going for sure.
They need something. They need some type of breath, bro.
If I'm Boston, yeah.
Wait, do you guys scrim Boston?
Yeah, we scrim Boston. We scrim them next week actually, or this Tuesday.
Are they actually? I've heard from sources that they're actually good in scrims. Is that true?
They're not bad. They're not bad.
Yeah, that's what I heard
too.
So what the fuck's the issue?
Sometimes, but they're not bad. It's S&D. I mean, also the game 5s, and yeah, I mean it's just the game. Their S&D, and then their hardpoint isn't that good sometimes. Like when we play them, I think every single team we play against is competitive to a certain threshold, but obviously some other bottom teams get clubbed more than others. But I mean they all have a chance. I mean it's just on that given day, I guess. But I mean they're probably tweaking though, honestly. I mean if I was them in their environment, not winning a match, I mean they're tweaking for sure. They're tweaking. They are on. You can just tell.
You don't think they're having fun?
Fuck no. Bro. Imagine the most winningest player not getting a dub for fucking months. Most winningest CDO player in the world. World champ.
You're speaking facts. You're speaking facts.
Honestly. Nothing. Like, I mean, I can't imagine for him. I feel bad for him. He's probably fucking miserable.
Well, they are.
Yeah, I got Hydra Animal, and now I got this shit. Like,
they are 2 matches away from being 007 twice.
I mean, but they're chalked, right? I mean, they might as well just scrum for Saudi at this point, no?
I mean, they might as well just bring Sensor in and call it a day.
You'd like to make a change for Saudi for sure.
Shit, if I'm them, I'm 20k. Wait, 20k? Hold on, what's 20 divided by 4?
5,000, you fucking... Are you out of your mind? Dude.
5k? Oh, yeah.
Hey, no. Hey, Donnie, that's why you're a COD pro.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Listen. I'm more smart in other areas in life. Besides Call of Duty, like social studies,
chemistry.
I mean,
stuff like that. Like any subject but math, I'm pretty good at.
All right, radical.
Genghis Khan. Like we could talk about Genghis Khan. We could talk about world geography. We could talk about the Ming Dynasty. We could talk about the.
I'm gonna record our conversations at Turkish food tonight, and I'm gonna see how well these Ming Dynasty conversations go. I want to see how
Ming
they
Dynasty
go.
is a Turkish show. It's China. We could
Bro, we could do some
talk about the
legendary
opium
shit in
trades.
Dallas.
Yeah,
Huh?
for sure.
I didn't know they had Turkish
Before
food
the
over here.
event.
Where are we getting Turkish food at, bro?
Don't-
Wait,
brother,
don't-
Where are we
have-
getting Turkish food
10
at?
min-
I ain't
10
never
minutes
seen
away.
Turkish.
Brother, you don't leave. You don't go anywhere. You just stay. You stay in your spot,
I
and then you
never
vroom
seen-
your car. And that's all you do. Okay, just come with
I
me.
roll my car all the time.
I know.
Wait, don't they?
I'll show you
Actually,
quick
with
question.
jokes on you though. Hey, listen, I don't have a car, so
You don't.
Nah, man, they try to steal it, man.
Again?
At the Christopher, man, they try to steal it, man.
Dude,
So they
there's
cut the
no
wires.
way.
Listen, Ace. They cut the wires for the lights and like the horn and stuff. So I got to replace the headliners and all that good stuff. So my lights don't turn on, my trunk don't open. Yeah.
Sounds like you need a little 600k deposited in that account.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I think it's actually 16, but.
Sounds to me like Sib's trying to get an insurance claim.
Yes, sir.
I mean, listen, Dante,
Dante,
if you have
need
a
security,
Dante,
you let me know. You need some real security. Let me know. We'll make that happen.
Right, he
Don't hit
pretends
our
he has
post.
the context everywhere. Though. This guy is crazy. Every time anyone says anything, it's like,
I could.
"No, my lad, I got the
Off the show,
context."
I'll send you about 5 security companies I'm directly tied to. I'll send you that in a bit if you really like to.
Hey, you go to the airport for the Betty's, bro. You get the black phone, bro. Only Ace knows the black phone, bro. You get the black phone, bro.
I haven't had to pull out any of the stops. These guys are all certified. They're good. They don't know about all that stuff. Let
You
them
get the
rock,
black
man.
phone, man. You get the black phone,
Let them
man.
rock. They don't know. They don't know about all that. It's okay. Calm down. Dante revealed all the secrets and shit. Relax, man. Where's this guy Slasher?
Anyways.
We brought up Boston, and I didn't see him ha-haing in the chat. Like, bro, Austin. where
He
are you,
was
man?
a hiring.
No,
I got a
he already
tweet of his ready to bring
he
up.
already answered someone's question. Yeah, someone asked him who have you got winning Major 4, and he replied, "Got Boston Breeze taking it all."
Very
I
nice.
mean, I guess they are going to be there. They ain't going to be a chump, so.
I mean,
no, but as
I
in
mean,
Slasher doing the Slasher World Tour all over the media world tour.
Yeah, Slasher's been having a vibe. He's been going to the flank every week. He's been chilling, man. Austin, you want to come on? You want to continue the world tour as well, man? Come on, have fun, have a good time. With
I mean,
us.
we had him on a couple weeks ago, to be fair.
Hey, if he wants to come on and talk a little bit about Boston, how well they're doing, I would be open to it.
I'd like to talk about Boston.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We should talk about Boston a little bit. Dante, any final? I know you said hard point, but anything final before we let you go? I know we've kept you on for longer than I. Thank you for giving us the time.
Oh, God,
Thank
he
you. It
loves
was a pleasure.
Yeah, he loves it.
I love it
Come
here.
on.
You know what I mean? I would never come off. I love
Dope
it
check
here, you know what I mean?
family. Dope check family.
Dope check fam. Hashtag ads. Hashtag like and subscribe. Hashtag
Pay us.
comment as well.
Saudi, pay us.
Yeah, sorry.
That's good work out of you,
Absolutely,
Dante.
bro.
Appreciate
All
the time.
right, I'll hit you up later, bro.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you.
All
Later.
right, bro. Later, bro.
What a guest.
What a guy, man.
Listen,
What a guy.
listen. How can you hate him? All right, listen. He says some controversial things at all. We know this, but how can you hate him? He keeps it real. You know, real. He's
He's
a
talking
realist.
about smuggling the THC vape pen into Saudi. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's like yeah. Listen, I don't think he understands, right? You go to prison.
Like
You go to prison for a long. You go
could be
you go to
worse.
prison with no
Long
like,
ass time.
You're just detained. You're like permanently detained for like a while.
It ain't like all right, like fucking slap on the wrist type shit you out of it.
yeah,
like
they cut your hand off or some shit.
Yeah,
Cut your hand
Oh, you
off.
want to be a pro?
Don't be spreading this foo gays, cutting your hand off and that. No, they don't cut your hand off. They just put you detained.
That's
for
in
a
a
long
different.
time.
That's in a different country, no? If you try and like.
If you try and steal, if you get caught stealing twice, then they'll cut your hand. Then they'll cut off your hand.
Oh, okay, I went too far away.
Yeah.
Imagine,
Just don't.
someone said someone said pretty sure he could be executed. Imagine that pro goes there, just gets fucking cut like, straight from the fucking world. Like,
Well, what am I going to talk? All right, guys, Touchground back again today. Bloody hell.
All right.
We have a situation on our hands.
We have the potential execution of the entire COD team. Well, very.
Wait, and they'll
crazy
still
scene.
say I'm clickbaiting. Well, like, I mean, the thing at that point is, so what the hell?
Yeah,
do I
because
put on the thumbnail?
because no one knew. You'd put fucking OpTic in there.
God. Scump reacts to. Okay, I'm not even. I'm not going. All right. Who else we got? Who else we got to talk about here? We got some dog shit teams. Okay, we went through Minnesota. Obviously, we talked about New York as well. I mean, do we want to talk about Boston? Is there really much point? I think honestly, we do, just because, like.
I mean, the only thing we can talk about Boston is.
They were the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. They've broken all the records, basically. Let me find the Money Hill Stats tweets.
They have. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen what Zed's looking like now, but he made a plea not to shave until.
Oh yeah, let me open that up really quick.
Yeah. He made a plea not to shave until they've won, and it's been months. It's been fucking months.
I got it right here.
Listen,
this is what.
There's another. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to go to the right. Why is it not going? Why is it not going to the?
Because it's like because it doesn't do that. You have to click off. Like it's not like it doesn't take you through them anymore.
Horrendous. So this is Zed normally. Start of the season, clean cut, looking like a true lad, looking like if you took Rab and you took Trey and you made a baby and then gave it a cousin, that would be Zed. Kind of looks like that a little bit to me. This is what he looked like.
Handsome guy.
Right now,
Yeah, for sure.
he's looking like this. He's been through hell and back. Bro looks like he went through World War II and just got
How
back
many
home.
years his brother aged?
All right, listen. All right, let's keep this real. He has not shaved since.
He is down so.
It's been
horrendous.
exactly 3 months since they last won a game.
It's
3
so bad,
months is
brother.
right.
He one of his socks didn't even spawn in. That's how bad it is right now. He's that down bad. He doesn't even know what's going on.
He farmed some good impressions though, you know what I mean? Like more impressions than Boston at map wins, that's for sure.
Well, that would take a whole lot of pretty much one impression, and you pretty much got there. Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't take much of it.
not that much.
We got Hamshik coming in here. That is a look of a man who says records were meant to be broken.
I mean, they're breaking the records. So yeah, here we go.
Lion
Look
Man
at
came
this.
in the chat. Lion Man came in the chat too and said they could set an 18-match L record for the season, like to end their season.
18-match L. That's the worst of all time, right? Even like I think that might be CWL, CDL, doesn't matter. All time, everything. 18 is the worst it gets.
Right, so major free qualifier, right? Let's talk about this real quick. Major free qualifier, they had a lot of 3-2 losses. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of things go their way, you know, they get 5 wins in winners bracket.
Or 6, even Major 3 tournament. They're 6. All in Major 3, 6 Game 5 losses.
That's 60 points, and you know that takes a lot of points away. That's pretty good. Instead, they go 0-7, lose at the major, and now this time they're struggling to even win a map.
Yeah, their closest matchup was against ROKKR, week 1.
This is so funny. I was on this page myself just looking through it. I mean, look how hilarious this is. Just getting slapped around by everyone. The funny thing is, right, that ROKKR series, that was like the one series that if they won, they still had like a crazy outside chance to make it. But as soon as they lost that ROKKR series, they knew it was chalked. And mentally, they're just compromised. Like, there's no other way to look at it. Like, they've just given up. The way they played against Gorillas, and to be fair to Gorillas, they went on to 3-0 Vegas, which was really impressive. But it genuinely looked like they'd just given up when they played Gorillas. Like, I mean, I called it disgraceful in the title of my video, embarrassing, whatever you want to say. It was like the worst shit I've ever seen. Like, my time got torched watching Boston play that series. It was so awful. Like, what's even the point? They all had like 0.6s. Yeah, I maybe watched a bit of it. Like, my guy Priest has 21 kills in 3 maps. Like, I didn't even know it was possible. That's got to be a world record.
He had 23 kills?
He had 21 kills over 3 maps.
Against who?
Gorillas.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, 21 and 36. Holy shit. How does Snoopy have less damage? That's even more impressive, to be honest.
Well, he always finds a way to get Snoopy in there.
You like that?
I like that.
Nah, listen, and it's like we said, right? Then bringing Major Maniac in, just, you know, obviously, we had this discussion, like, is it going to be fun for him? Is it not? Like, listen, they are not having fun. Not a chance of having fun. And we know we always said about Major Maniac, like, this could either make his career again, like, revive it a little bit or something like that. It ain't been revived.
Yeah, unfortunately for him and the team, I think, yeah, they after that lost to ROKKR, that was like their real moment to catch any kind of ounce of momentum, and it was squandered, it was squabbled, right? A chance to actually do something, and since then it's just looked worse and worse. Even Beans doesn't look like the same player as he did when he was kind of seemingly more motivated to be shooting back and really putting his 100%
would you actually
in.
would you be though? Like, be honest, like, would you be?
Oh no, I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but like I'm just saying, would you like getting on every single day now must feel like a chore.
Yeah,
you know, obviously
it's pointless.
obviously you're still living the dream, but like
you're not going to champs.
He's flown all the way from the UK, left his family, all that kind of, everything that you have to do being a European player coming into the league, and this is what you get dealt.
Someone in the chat said, Buddy's underrated. A quote from me saying that Major Mick is underrated. And I will say he is underrated. But this team was not, as spoken on the show, he took the bait to get on this team and try to do something. Clearly it's not working out. And it may, I don't know how many more chances Mike would have got without expansion. So the fact that this even came up, it was his best bet. He has to roll the dice. So I do still think Mike is
sure.
I do think he's underrated still, by the way. I still want to be 100%. Beans is underrated. I think he's actually fairly rated now, to be honest, because he's fried in the Control series and since he's been on Breach in the beginning. Mike, I think, is underrated. Priesta, I think, is just like Dante was saying 10 minutes ago, going from the most winningest player to having the most winless season of all time. How dopeless could you be? How much more of a chokeslam could it be? There's nothing worse.
We got to talk about this. They are on a 14-match loss spree. They've not won in 3 months.
Yeah.
It's like
you've got to blow it up. You've got to blow it up. After
we're not
this
just
season.
blowing it up. Like, we are dropping. Like, this ain't just a regular atomic bomb. Like, this ain't no Trinity.
This is everyone.
This is a fucking Tsar bomber. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is 150 million tons of TNT. This is the best shit the Russians ever produced. Like, we've got to drop that shit straight on the Boston Bleach.
Listen.
Blow that shit to fucking
listen.
if
I'm Boston, all right, I blow it all up. And for even Beans, I'm not saying he's an issue, but let him go to a different team, man. This guy's been on Boston too long. Let him go to a different team and flourish. That guy is too good to be sitting on this team. All right, I'm gonna keep that rule of it. It's not EU bias. This guy's a shooter. Just say, listen, Beans, you can go anywhere you want. Guys, listen. We're blowing up the roster. Go anywhere you want. Zed, you can go, flourish, go. We need a fresh start. This ain't good for us. It ain't good for you. We need this relationship over.
Marty brings up an interesting point that, again, I'm going to always get my Snoopy talk in, as always. Does Snoopy walk away from this year unaffected?
There's no way. No way.
No.
Not at this point, man.
Fuck no. All right, listen. All right, you got to look at it 2 ways. Boston keeps Snoopy, they don't get a top team. They get rid of Snoopy, he doesn't join a team.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's the first time I think we've said on this show that is a possibility even. I've been saying, but I've never heard one of you two say it. So you're under the firm belief that if Boston decided to let go of Snoopy, the experiment's over, that another team, even a bottom team, let's say even a Carolina or something, a LAG, someone, you don't even think they would take a chance on him?
I mean,
At
if we're gonna
this
talk,
point, I actually agree.
If we're gonna talk about we even had us on the show saying he needs to experience challenges. We need to let him go experience challenges, bro. Like, he's just come out. Like I said, they could be 19. They could have 19 losses in a row at the end of the season, which is looking pretty likely. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You either give Ben Beans the keys or just let them all go, because I know Ben Beans is guaranteed getting on a roster after this season. He is too fucking good not to. Right? He's a top AR. Put him on a top team. You're looking at people put him in the same category as Ghosty, all these underrated AR players. He's going in there for sure.
Yeah.
Lion Man says it's crazy us four could put up the same record. Right. Like I said, everyone in this roster just needs to separate from the org. It's just how it has to be. If Boston keeps Snoopy after this, and I'm not blaming Snoopy, I'm just saying this is unacceptable to keep any player, and for any player wanting to stay there, because clearly there's clearly something it doesn't line up very well.
I mean, the only person who would want to stay there is the one they've gone tooth and nail to fight for, obviously, right? That Snoopy is their franchise player. They've clearly drawn a line in the sand that they're going to keep him by any means necessary. Whether that proceeds in the future, that's up for debate. But overall, in my mind, that I've been consistent since almost the start of the season, probably after Major 1, essentially, to now, that Snoopy absolutely needs to taste challengers. He needs to go fight for his spot. He needs to prove his worth. He needs to show that he has some COD knowledge. He needs to experience some of the coaching and gameplay style of the challenger scene that has revitalized careers and at least revitalized some players like Criticises, like Beans. Not saying that they went there badly, but they went over there, started frying some more, played with some new players, proved their worth again, and came right back up and have handled the top leagues as they should. Snoopy needs to have that kind of battle readiness to prove his worth again. It hasn't looked good this year. He's looked underwhelming. He's looked lost. All those speculations and all the stuff that people were roasting Slasher early in the year for his decisions, his words, his comments, that he was just hating and Snoopy was this elite level caliber player, have proven to be laughable and not true. Boston breach, if you decide to keep Snoopy, this is a joke of a move if you decide to keep him on your franchise.
I think a few matches ago, I would have probably said that there was a chance, but I think just the way that things have gone over the last few games, like at some point you have to come to a conclusion about some sort of a common denominator. And, you know, the reality is that of all the changes they've made, sure, Priest is there as well, but he's a world champion, you know, like Snoopy's...
Well, it's winning a CDL player, like...
Yeah, you know, Snoopy's tasted, what, top 6 in an event? That's the best he's done, maybe champs last year. So, you know, it is what it is. Not every talented player works out in the way that they could do. But maybe there's still a chance.
He's not even a challenger player, really, is he?
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say. I would like. Obviously, that's where he came from. I'm not saying he just kind of spawned in onto a pro team, but like he didn't really, in my opinion, like that. He didn't really experience it.
Like to a I mean, hey, he did, but not like to a big degree. He wasn't there for a while. He wasn't grinding to the pits. He was there for what, a year, less than a year, 6 months.
Yeah, I think he just got rushed into it.
And again, I do not want to take away, as much as I've hated on him throughout the year and I've tried to clarify my position over time, he has the gun skill talent to be a pro. But you have to keep in mind that there's a lot of players that can shoot straight, right? He's above that, but smarts are ultimately what take you to become the highest caliber of pro. People on OpTic, people on FaZe, people in New York, people on Toronto are high gun skill level. But you could take players, and this does not diminish that they can shoot straight, but maybe they're not the toppest tier. Envoy, for example, his value is that he can shoot straight, obviously, but his value is that he makes the right play. He fills in the gaps. He will make the right play for you 90% of the time. That's his value. Priesta, similar. Can have a high gun skill and snap on people, but ultimately it's his smarts, how he plays, how he looks at the game, what he brings to the team that make him so valuable. His comms, all of that.
We've got professional analysis from Omnimovement. Snoopy has mastered the art of looking busy on the map. The casuals love it. The analytic guys love it. I see through it. He is not elite in any of the sense of the word. Closer to a fire 40 than a shotty. A 6 out of 10 on his best day. Overrated.
God damn.
That is
class.
That is a piece you see in like the newspapers.
That's a
I
straight
actually know,
headline
like
type
the
thing
way
right
he
there.
says that is quite succinct in the sense that if you look at Snoopy's numbers, when you perceive Snoopy, you think, oh, fast, aggressive, you know, talented SMG, because he feels like he should fit that mold. And even, I know we've done the name cheese before, haven't we, Ace, on this, but like, even his name, it sounds like he's you know what I mean? Like Snoopy is similar to Shotzi and others, right? Like it sounds like he's a pretty fast-paced player.
He sounds a little menacing. Like he's like
like
doing some shit.
Sounds like he's fitting the mold. But you actually look at the numbers and you think, actually, this guy, he ain't really doing all that on the map. He has a slightly higher slay rating than Beans, but it's not great.
It's like someone walks past you, he's like, yo, have you heard of this guy? He's like, no, what's his name? Like, Snoopy. Is he fucking good? Yeah, he's fucking class. Like... what's his name again? Snoop. Yeah, he sounds like a baller. Where do I watch this guy?
Yeah, it's Boston's in a tough spot, but again, someone in the chat also said Boston Lamar 2025 or something. Hey man, we ain't opposed. The Betty Institute is not opposed to any possibilities here. Okay, listen, Boston has 2 weeks against OpTic next, which, hey man. Hey, If Boston want to
beat an
play,
OpTic, oh
if
God.
they want to beat anyone, if they want any form of OpTic to play, it's this form of OpTic at least. If
There is an OpTic coin going about.
If OpTic beat, okay, hypothetically though, Chad, I want a reaction, but like if Boston's only win of Major 4 comes against OpTic, are we happy for Boston or are we that worried for OpTic? How are we looking at this if this happens?
Listen,
in the hypothetical.
Respectfully, I'm not even giving that hypothetical.
You're not even gonna give it any entertainment, not even a little bit.
I'm not even gonna give it any entertainment.
I hate you, bro. I hate you. I'm trying to have some fun with this, man.
Listen. I would give you hypotheticals if it wasn't a team that was 14 loss streak.
Right, if OpTic lose to Boston, I mean, they might need to put in a message to the fucking Tsar Bomba dealer. Like, let's get talking to Brezhnev and the boys. Like, see if we can bring that shit back.
Let's get Nikolai on the phone.
Four losing streak, 14 losing streak, 4 losing streak, 14 losing streak. Boston have a chance against OpTic. Boston have their last go against Carolina. And
that's actually crazy though that one of them breaks the win streak and it might not actually have a losing streak and it might not be.
Listen. If OpTic do lose it though, hey, come to your boy over here at Extra 5, man. Come on, we might need you.
No.
It would be. You know what's honestly crazy about this too? I think we should jump over to Carolina now, just naturally to jump over to talk about them a little bit. But this matchup against Boston might actually be the make or break for whether Carolina actually get the champs. Because per the standings, it's kind of wild, but we currently have 4 teams all split for this 8th place spot. The script of the season couldn't be written any crazier. We have LAG, Minnesota, Vegas, Carolina, all tied up at 140. And then Thieves literally only 5 points ahead at 145. So realistically, everyone is just neck and neck fighting for that 7th and 8th place spot. But yeah, Carolina, man, a tough week. Or a tough split, I guess. The Miami Heretics match didn't go their way.
That was the dagger, man. But every one of these bottom teams is having these dagger series. Like, it looked like Vegas were on the road, and all of a sudden they just get 3-0 smacked around by Gorillas out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Carolina, the thing that pisses me off with the Ravens is that whenever I think they're going to lose, they actually just put out a good performance. And every time I feel confident the Ravens are going to win, they bottle it. I mean, the Miami Seals was pretty bad. Clay and Fellow back to their best.
What did you predict on this one, Rab?
I mean, I had Ravens taking the dub, unfortunately.
So did I.
I know you had Miami. I know. Shut up, Vico, if he's still here in the chat.
Hey, Vico,
Disrespect.
if you're still here, I'm one of you, baby.
Right, the timeline on this season is crazy. With Dope Trick episode 25, I remember the good old days. Early days when Trey, you could not stop this guy from ragging on these boys.
It's still Spanish COD, but you can't stop them once they're moving.
Once they got the momentum, it's hard to actually fuck with them. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I want to talk about Carolina, just looking at this series, I'm actually very impressed by Miami's turnaround, adding in Real and doing that role switch. It's pretty incredible to see how much better they look, especially in S&D. They've been clutching up, dominant in the mode, and overall, just even on hard points, look more commanding. I know we like to talk about Legion a lot of the time, that they look like the team that's the most scary. I know even Dante said that's the team he thinks is probably the 5th place team. There is my argument that even though consistency is maybe questionable or arguable for some people, Miami, standings-wise and per just my view, is actually the 5th best team. Their potential on every game mode to give you something and just to turn up, especially with how Metals has been playing recently, is scary. If I'm a top team, even in their hard points, their S&D, they could creep up here in Major 4. No fans especially too. They can creep up and really make some noise if people don't take them serious. I think a lot of teams have been kind of
every week we have a new 5th best team. But
listen,
Miami's holding my spot for me.
We need to speak about Carolina's hardpoint. It is goddamn terrible.
All right, let's take a look at what their Major 4 hardpoint looks like.
Yeah, they got embarrassed this time. I think we need to talk about Clay, to be honest.
They've won 1 sub base, and they're 2-1 in Karachi, but 1-2 in Rio, and 1-3 in Vista. Clay with a .87. Everyone else actually above a 1.0 in hardpoint, which is kind of surprising.
Listen, we're getting another TJ Halley masterclass. Guys going under the radar this season as, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players this season. No one's really talking about it like that, but I think he's been. We talk about Gwyn, Fry, and stuff like that, but I think he's been a pretty solid reason to why they've actually been looking pretty good in the spot they are right now. I mean, Clay even done a tweet. I'll see if I can find it real quick about how he's been playing.
About how,
yeah, he said tired of playing like shit, something like that. Oh, about TJ himself.
Oh, about himself. Okay.
Yeah, look, Clay. So tired of playing like shit. Got to figure it out. Is what it's Can't find my rhythm. GG's, man. We lost 1-3. Tough couple of days with Clay, right? I mean, he had the series against OpTic that they won, where he dropped a .84 or something, and then the next day he played Miami or whatever it was, and he dropped a .73, I think, for the loss. And it's just one of these with Clay, right? When we talk about it throughout the season, we've talked about it for years at this point. Clay, when he's on point, is still an incredibly talented player that can win you guys games. And we always talk about him being an amplifier and all this. But you just see it far less often nowadays. You get too many series from Clay like this. And I just do worry about the future of Clayster in the team. Now, I don't necessarily worry about his spot in the sense that Brian Saint is the head coach. He's kind of calling the shots. Himself and Clay were at the concert on the Thursday night before they then played 2 games on the weekend where Clay got fried in both of them. I'm not saying Clay was, going out on a bender, but, it's something to at least think about. And I think I'm just concerned that Clay is going to get to the end of the year, not make champs and just say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm going to call it a day. Like, I'm not playing. Because if any player in Clay's position gets to the point where they don't feel like they're doing themselves a service, at least this is how I would feel. Like, if I feel like I'm tarnishing my legacy, I would want to call it a day. And I haven't felt that about Clay until about now. I don't know if you guys agree.
I don't see it that way, only because I think Clay, if you take into consideration what he's working with, his legacy is not in question for me. Well, if Clay had pieces around him, similar to, let's say, his last successful campaign, right? You talk about his last champs ring, right? It's a different game, 5v5, whatever it may be. But when you have talent of that caliber, his amplification skills, that trait that makes him so good is because he can find talent and make it reach its peak and its potential. He's given us Gwyn this year. If Real was still on this team, I don't even know what kind of ceiling this team would have had if the original roster was maintained and kept. That's another thing I think people forget, that this Carolina roster is not what it was intended to be originally.
Right, TJ is insane. I don't think they'd be any better with Real.
I mean, listen,
I think Real's class, but
I think Real's unbelievable. I think with this team with Real would be.
They literally had the team with Real. I know they've got a Rex.
No, but you can't compare that. And he also he was playing from a different location. It wasn't standardized at all. So if they got the chance to develop with Real, I think you would have had a really different ending to the season, or at least a different development of the season and Real's time with them.
I do want to say this about Clay as well. Like, a lot of people got to realize that he's had a lot of personal stuff going on too, which does take into effect. Like, and we're not talking like, something little. We're talking about like, his girl. He had some issues with his girl, and his girl, done him dirty. Yeah. And low key, it happened to me in my season in Vanguard too. And I pretty much went the same way, if you guys remember. And I went off. I'm not saying you went off the rails or anything like that, but like, personal problems definitely do fuck you over in the season like this, and especially if it's like, for me, when it happened to me, you can't manage it properly because you've got to compete and you don't want to let people down, so you don't quite digest it properly. And I feel like that's happened to Clay, and he's also had to like travel back and forth because he's got other stuff going on in his life with like house and stuff like that. I think people got to like sympathize for him in that way too. and it's no excuse in terms of, you know, like, you gotta compete, whatever, like that, but you gotta, like, sympathize in that way too, that, like, he's 32, he's not just playing COD. You know, he's not just waking up like these 19, 20-year-olds, like, that's just on a 5 a.m. bender and then woke up, cracked a fucking monster and hopped on, you know.
But you have to, but at the same time, bro, you have to devil's advocate that I will do it just to do it. At the end of the day, this is a league. You have stuff going on.
Sure.
You have stuff going on outside, and does do the I'm not even calling excuses, but they are real life issues. They are real life things happening outside. Sure. But if you're not performing,
I'm just saying everything the performance related, like, you know, he's got stuff going on in his life too. You know, obviously he has to perform to keep his spot, and his performances right now aren't up to par. But prior to this, is what I'm saying. Like, he's had a lot of things going on in his life, which is okay. But
I wish
it's no excuse.
Does someone in the chat have Clay's this year's comparison between his online stats and his LAN stats? If anyone has that,
we can kind of find them.
Can we find that on the website?
Yeah, we can just do a filter search. I'll get it.
Yeah, if we could see just exactly the difference of Clay online versus LAN, I think that would be the biggest volume speaker to how well or poorly Clay's actually playing. Yes, the online plays a huge part of COD, but if he's still performing on LAN to the degree that at least it seems like he is, I mean, his value is clearly shown that as a LAN player, he still brings that dominant side of himself and that Clay that we love and expect that we have for years. So that's where I say that his legacy. Oh, go ahead.
Online, he is 59th out of everyone that's competed in the league.
Wow.
With a 0.88.
Okay.
And keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. That's throughout all game modes too.
0.88. Okay.
And his LANs. Bear in mind, we've got a few matches more in Major 4. He's not competed in Major 4 LAN yet. It's not happened.
Yeah.
And he is 20th on LAN with a 1.03.
Like, damn, bro. That's a huge difference. Huge difference. Massive difference.
I mean, I've always said he needs LAN. Like, this is Clay. He's 32 years old. He thrives. Like, even Major 4, I don't think he's going to thrive as much because he loves the energy that he gets from the crowd. There's no crowd. Like, and even Clay can tell you this too. You see him play online, like, he's just going to go there, he's going to show up, he's going to scream and shout and just be like, fuck, it just feels like I'm playing online COD again, you know?
That's like why I originally... Go ahead.
Clay online is an animal, in my opinion, you know? People are still scared of losing to Clay on a map or something like that and just getting shit talked, you know? We've got the infamous, you know, fucking Jersey rip. We've got him talking shit across the stage. And you just don't get that online, and that you got to sympathize from there too. How long's this guy been playing online COD for? Since he was goddamn motherfucking like
was in diapers, bro. This guy was taking 8th grade SAT tests, like pre-SAT tests, and then coming home and frying kids in professional COD. Yeah, this is why Clay's legacy to me is cemented. It's not something that gets affected whether he's on Carolina Royal Ravens for in a year with a scuffed roster in a sense and playing fight on his back on an online league for most of the year from different places and spots around the U.S. Clayster is one of the greatest players to pick up a controller. Top 3, if you ask me, of all time. It's without question. Whether he keeps playing for another year, 5 years, 2 years, retires after this year, he is cemented. He's proven himself when it matters. When it comes to LAN, you can see the difference. Online COD will never be the reason someone is great or not great. What people do on LAN is ultimately what defines their careers and what cements them or makes them fall from grace. So Clayster is absolutely still a top player in my mind.
The issue is that online just plays such a big factor.
It does. It does. Truthfully,
that's the issue here.
There's a tweet that Slasher brought up, or that I threw in from Slasher as well. Like, it's in the OpTic section, Ace. You might have found it.
Got it right here.
But it's pretty much him talking about this general concept that teams that resulting from their online play, what that means for them come the actual LAN event. My opinion is that it's somewhat inevitable with 12 teams this has to be the case, but I do agree that online should not be determining. It can determine seeds, but I don't think it should be determining who starts in the losers bracket at the major, kind of like with Slasher as well. I don't know if I quite agree with this take on like, oh, if you've won an event in the season, then you're kind of like guaranteed a winners bracket start. But I think that's an interesting point of view.
I was gonna say if you win a major, you should be guaranteed a winner spot for the next major.
It would make sense because like in most sports, kind of how it is, right? Like if I win the Snooker World Championship, I've done it again. I'm pretty sure I'm getting like, I'm going back next year at least as a seed. Like, no way I'm not.
Yeah, there should be a little bit more of a reward for winning the previous major. But then the question obviously comes, right? The question obviously boils down to, then what happens with the online matches, or what then is the
There's
purpose?
no point in
exactly.
Yeah.
What's the purpose then? Is it just for champs qualification then? But if you won a major, all the points you got essentially should make you, I mean, right there for a champ spot anyway. So the only problem is it kind of makes the balance of the league a little off. You would need a counterbalance to a team automatically getting a winner spot.
You are right. You are right. And a lot of people are asking in the chat, like, that leads to complacency. What do the online matches mean? That's what someone else has got to come up with. Because right now, these online matches are shit anyway. Like we just had Siboney. You know, you win 2 events or you do well at 1 event, and then you're pretty much guaranteed champs anyway.
Yeah.
Like these online matches, like there's got to be some more rewards for these online matches rather than fucking what they are now. Because fucking FaZe, OpTic, and Toronto, they were guaranteed champs after Major 1.
Yeah, yeah. Again, look at these standings. Just I want to bring back up these standings and bring that your last point, just proof of it, right? Winning a major gets you, I think, what is 120 points? Is it about? You win 2, you win 30. It's about 120 or 100 and it's either 120 or 150 points for winning a major.
Which is deserved. Like let's put it out there. Like it is deserved, but like, you know, you should get a lot of points for it.
You get more than a flat 100 for winning a major. You get 30 for winner bracket wins. 30 is just 100?
Is it just 100? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 100 for winning an event. I think, honestly, it's interesting. When it was announced this season, because when the CDL announced this, they said, oh, we're changing the format to make LAN more important by increasing the points for LAN. And then, of course, they added more majors and they had 1 less LAN. And that's why the numbers are actually quite equivalent in terms of the importance of online versus LAN this season. At the time, I thought, you know what? Maybe they intended well, but then it's just kind of like a side effect of the way things have worked. That actually it means that online is just as important, if not more important, because the league is so top heavy than it previously was. That was my initial thought. My thought now is that this was like known and intended. Like I think the CDL realizes given the current format and the limitations of it, they have to try and ensure these online matches are interesting. So they did not want to drop these online qualifiers down to 5 points a match, for example, I don't think. Because if they did, then it would make them feel even less important. And it's like the majority of what we watch. Look, we talked about it before. What we want to have is the online COD isn't qualifiers. It's weekends, 2Ks, 5Ks that do seedings for way more major tournaments. But, you know, initially I felt like the CDL was maybe just intended well, but it didn't work out given the circumstances. Now I think that this was pretty intentional.
I don't think.
Let me add. I want to add just one thing.
Yeah, go on.
One thing. It's out of all these, like let's say just FaZe for example, right? FaZe for example, matches, right? Completed matches. Winning 1 event, like we said, is 100 points. Okay, 100 points.
Plus the online points.
Online,
too, so
yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. Online matches, you're let's say approximately 7 matches per qualifiers. We have 4 qualifiers. That's 28 matches. You win an event and then win 20% of your online matches, you're qualifying for champs.
Well, picture it like this. So the cutoff for champs is like 170, 180, is it something like that?
160.
160? All right. You win 1 event, you win 6 online matches. Let's say you do that in Major 1. All right. You go 6-1 in the online matches and you win that event, yeah? You could come dead last with 0-7, yeah, for the rest of the year and dead last at every single major, and you've still made champs. Is that not insane to you?
I mean, that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to.
Chat, is that not insane to you? that you can come first at Major 1, win 6 online matches, and you can come dead last Major 2, Major 3, Major 4, and win no online matches, and you're guaranteed champs.
You could win
That is
6
fucking
out of
wild.
28 matches after one event win, and you're going to champs. And the rest of your online matches do not matter. Sure, there's a small amount of money, I believe, that on each online match just to add some incentivization, but like, it's so minimal. It's so minimal that I don't know. CDL, whatever comes next, whatever the Microsoft World League, whatever it is coming after, hopefully that comes soon. They've got to definitely reformat some things here. And I know there was a tweet that I forgot. I just remembered it right now, actually, from Adam Apicella. How do you spell his last name? A-P-A.
AP.
Got it right here. There was this cryptic tweet I saw of him just posting a calendar and an hourglass. I don't know what
He
it
actually
means.
did reveal the precise date where he's allowed
Well,
to
he said
return.
he said he's not allowed to do
February,
anything
isn't it?
until February.
February of when? Next year?
Like
Next
in
year.
8 months or something like that. Yeah,
When did he say that? How do we know this?
he done a tweet.
February 12th. That's what I'm seeing here. He replied
February-
to Sir Scoots on the 8th of June, and he said February the 12th is the day that he's going to be free to make his glorious return to the scene. Like, there was some drama with the Esports Engine sale to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, is, to my understanding. I don't know if Adam App necessarily wanted the consequences of this to be this way. The other thing for Adam App is, if you guys don't know, obviously MLG Esports Engine, Legends, pioneer of the scene in many ways. Without Adam App, the competitive Call of Duty and esports landscape for Halo and other MLG supported games would be very different over the years. But he obviously falls under this non-compete situation, right, where he's not allowed to create another company or be part of another company competing in the events production space, or it would breach his non-compete agreement with his previous company. I guess one of the problems is that they recently outlawed non-compete agreements in the US to some degree, but it doesn't apply to presidents of companies, to say the very least. So this doesn't apply to him anyway, even if this was going to happen. So yeah, we've got to wait till February, but of course, at which time the CDL would already be locked in with their plans, right? They'll probably already be locked in with the ESL. So very interested to see what this means.
I'm very excited because here's the thing, Adam. If we're gonna talk about legends of the scene, right? We can talk about Clay, we talk about Crim, we talk about Scump, but the behind the scenes legend is Adam Apicella. Like, factually,
He took him Mount Rushmore. Adam Apicella built the Mount
that's
Rushmore.
what I'm saying. This guy's the one constructing the fucking Mount Rushmore, like, of the players'
built
faces.
it.
So without him, there wouldn't be what we have today. What we know as CWL, CDL, how it's kind of boiled out to this point, wouldn't even be possible without him being a forefront man for this. So him coming back in about 8 months' time, I guess February, as you guys have determined, would be massive. I hope he's coming back straight to the COD scene. I hope it comes back to whatever Microsoft league that we're talking about here. His vision is what led to COD being great, and at its glory days, it was spearheaded by Adam Apicella. So hopefully one day soon we get him back for Black Ops 6. I think the combo of a great game, good leadership, and a renovation of the league will boil up to be the best year in COD since Black Ops 3, maybe Black Ops 2 even, if I'm looking really, really optimistically. Yeah, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 year, if we can get something even similar to that with the right people behind it, the right kind of a momentum, a great game, COD can have that revitalization and that love that we remember it to have, and we all kind of like, I don't know, we kind of cling on to a little bit, right? Just we kind of remember it for the glory day.
My thing about this is I don't see Adam just walking into like the COD league and just being like okay with how it's ran. He's stated many a times he hates the way it's ran on Twitter, and he ain't gonna come into this just because he can. In my opinion, he wants to come in a certain way. He has the leeway to do whatever the fuck he wants and make things good again. Which is good. He's not going to come in there and be like, yeah, man, I love this online bullshit. I love this. He's clearly stated numerous amount of times to pro
He's been
players.
on the plank as well to talk about it. I remember he did
he hates the way things are run. You know, I hope he comes over to the extra finance side, you know what I'm saying? Adam AP, like, come Come share the love.
Save everyone, bro. Save everybody.
Yeah. Like I said, like COD's in a weird way when it comes down to who's running things and how it's run. Everyone loved the CWO days. I have my issues with how the CWO days were run. Not because I didn't like the format or anything like that. I just think everyone's nostalgia to CWO from, oh, we need it back because open bracket teams could play. You know my thing on that Rab and Ace. It's like, well, they done fuck all anyway,
Yeah,
so we got to come to a
shit on.
Yeah, we got to come to a medium.
We got some breaking news apparently. We got some breaking news apparently from the rotation. What is being said by the rotation?
No way. We have the breaking news arriving live on the show.
Oh, Lord. Okay, Accuracy is returning to the ROKKR starting team. Spart is free to return to challengers. His former team, Glow Frosty, Wiz, and Fire are fighting with admins to allow him to return to their team. Breaking news live during the show, during Dope Check. Wow. Reactions, guys?
You're his fucking cousin.
I need some explanation on this a little bit, just because, like,
you're his fucking cousin. What do you mean, actually?
What do you mean reactions, brother? Like, Ace is sitting there like he didn't know this shit was about to go down. Look, what I will say is that given the circumstances, Spy ain't even played bad. Like, okay, the team's obviously going to be worse without the talisman, but, like, they played New York and Toronto. They lost 2 pretty close series. Like, they should have beaten New York and Toronto. Okay, their hard points have been embarrassing. Like, I mean, look, do I think they'd have won both of those series with Lamar, or even one of them? Probably not. But does it maximize their chances of making it to the World Championship?
All right, listen.
Sure.
Listen
Wait. No. Let me. I gotta cook rap. Let me cook rap. Okay. I'm about to go crazy right now.
All right. No. I'm not gonna cook it. But listen, they just beat OpTic 3-2 before he had to go, before he had to leave. All right, that he left because he had to on a high for a family issue. All right. We kind of got to speak about the fact, like, yeah, they weren't doing that well prior to that, but the fact they beat OpTic 3-2 and then for him to leave, we can't say that, was it like, would they have won those series? You can't say that because they just beat OpTic. I know OpTic's giving out free coins right now, but, in my opinion, they would have at least won one of those. I'll say that.
My thought is this. To say that they wouldn't have beat those 2 teams is almost absurd, because one of those series was taken to a game 5 with a fill-in and in a series that map 1 didn't look close. I think the biggest glaring difference that ROKKR and even the fans have seen between with Lamar versus without Lamar is how different the team looks in hardpoint specifically. I know in most people's minds, Lamar doesn't look like the guy who's doing X, Y, and Z in hardpoint with the KDs maybe, but very clearly, as you can tell, you can see the glaring difference between the last 2 matches in hardpoint versus before that. They looked way less competitive in respawns, looked way less competitive. Just it looked a little bit more lost on the map. There's definitely more to hardpoint than just getting kills, as we've seen from this and even Dante's description of NYSL getting kills and not doing things with those kills. ROKKR having their pretty much, I mean, I'm going to say they're one of their biggest vocal leaders back, and a player that's been since the beginning of the year to now with them the entire time. It's a core piece to lose for a week in some of your most critical matches. Lamar coming back here is going to be massive, and I think for you to say in this New York match that without Lamar they couldn't have won, that 6-star at the end, do you think that last round, I think they would have got there for sure. I think the series probably would have got closed out sooner. They don't lose that 6-star the way they did if Lamar is calling strats out per normal, right? I don't see that happening.
Right, this guy is like living in dreamland, I swear.
Listen,
it doesn't work like that, though. It doesn't work like that. You can't just like magically sub a player back in and like imagine they're going to be at exactly the same point in the series. The truth is we don't know. I'm not saying they couldn't have beaten them with Lamar. What I'm saying is we have no fucking idea whether they could have beaten them with Lamar because they play with them.
I'm saying they would have been a better situation. Also with Lamar, I don't think they get 40-point club.
Yes.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. Well done. Like, they probably don't get smoked, but they still lose the sub base. It is what it is. The team weren't good before with Lamar. The team weren't good with Spa. Just saying it how it is. Their upcoming games, they play Vegas. They play... Is that it? The upcoming games this week?
Smoke.
Yeah, their only match left is actually against Vegas. And this... You know what? You guys want to know something hilarious? Something actually funny behind the scenes that otherwise wouldn't be known? me, Lamar, and Dylan one day were right after Toronto, where Dylan came over and we were just talking. And we said, how funny would it be if it all boiled down to Lamar versus Dylan to make champs? And funny enough, it's boiling down to a matchup between Lamar versus Dylan to see who goes to champs and who doesn't go to champs. The script was written then, and it's actually pretty much turning out that way now.
Kinda.
Why do you say kinda?
There's still the LAN event. You know, if one of these teams loses this, it doesn't mean they don't. You know,
I mean,
because theoretically, how many wins have Vegas got this year? This stage.
They have
the stage. They got 3.
3 wins.
So they guarantee winners,
and they have 2 more matches so far.
Are they guaranteed winners?
Yeah, with 3 is guaranteed winners, basically. Yeah.
All right, how many Minnesota go?
2.
3 and 4 Minnesota.
Yeah, 2.
So listen, even if Vegas loses, I mean, they kind of, you know, we always say that top 4 teams are, you know, it's pretty much a guaranteed losers anyway if you go into winners bracket. But I wouldn't like necessarily say it. It's just how they perform on LAN, and I've got Vegas, even if Vegas loses, I've got Vegas performing better than Minnesota at LAN. I'll say this. I think their team's just better. I think this is just going to help out that team. I don't see ROKKR coming into the LAN event and smoking teams. Whereas Vegas, I kind of see them actually doing that.
I mean, to me, the big story is just like, obviously Lamar was stepping away from, you know, personal difficult family situations. So like, hoping that's better now. You know what I mean? If Lamar's okay to return, not like it's just resolved or anything. These things are tricky and complicated and they take time.
The update
like,
is, I'll give the update.
I'm pleasantly surprised to see him back.
Yeah,
know?
I'll give the update on that. Essentially, my aunt is out of the hospital at this point, so that's the biggest thing. She was in the hospital, take a very big turn for the worst. There's been a good positive momentum swing upward. Doesn't mean anything's beaten or, you know, like I stated in the tweet, cancer has returned. It's not like one of those things where it's just like that and it's over. But the huge dive that things took for a second, that has been resolved momentarily, and at least that's gotten a little bit more positive. So this return by Lamar is definitely, again, I stated this during our pre-show, but he's doing this for his team. He's doing it for his teammates. He's doing it for his coaches. He's doing it for the fans. He's doing it because he knows it's the right thing to do and not put his team in a place where they can miss out on this biggest tournament and ask the question, what if this didn't happen? So honestly, this isn't cousin cheese. It's the consummate professional Lamar is, that even in this situation, for him to come back, situation and all, put it back on the line and be there for his teammates and try to make champs this way. So I gotta
everybody needs
make
to
that
realize
clear.
it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's great. It's doing better. You know, that's all anyone wants to hear. Because it's at that point, it's fuck COD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
We spoke on the real life. Yeah, real life stuff are happening to players outside of
real
games.
life. Yeah, for sure. That's what, you know, real life things happen outside the game, and everyone likes to clown on people like, oh, you know, COD this, COD that. COD's a job. Real life's real life. Yeah, real life shit overtakes that any day of the week. So, and now I feel like Lamar's going to come back, and obviously not, in my opinion, not the most clear-headed ever, but he knows, like, things have got a bit better, and he's going to come in, and he knows what he's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to come in, he's got to smoke Dill, and then he's got to, and then they've got to win the match at LAN.
Yeah.
One match, smoke Dill, one win at LAN,
champs.
Guaranteed champs.
And again, I honestly tip it as well. He's coming back with a week of practice, right? He's not coming in on a Wednesday, a Thursday. He's coming back now. He's gonna have this week of practice, and that's a big thing to get back on, you know, back in line, back on page. Spark came in, no practice, just sat down and had to play a match, right? Lamar's at least coming back, getting back in his seat, getting warm, feeling good, and playing this out. And in his mind, at least still fresh off the OpTic win as well. So, I mean, I know that doesn't matter in comparison to what he's going through at home, but positivity there, positive off the OpTic win, some good fan love. Like, okay, we see what ROKKR is missing without Lamar. There's some good positive waves here, and how this script is written, I think we see a miraculous run by ROKKR to secure that 8th place champ spot.
Bro.
Maybe 7th above LAT, who knows? But I think we see the script written this way.
Bro, Lamar's gonna come back still like cheese and like, yeah, we just beat OpTic. Like, I'm fucking blessed. Standy's got 3 black eyes. Gunler's got a broken arm after just getting bum fucked by fucking New York. Like, guys, what the fuck happened to you? Like, everything all good?
Spirit,
Like,
why are spirits so down in here, huh? Everyone, tidy up. Let's go. Lock in.
Lamar's gonna walk in and go, Standy, 3-17, serious? Like, fuck me, you couldn't have fucking done a bit more? Like, fuck.
Everyone in chat that's wishing love as well. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, by the way. I know I don't want to type and respond to everyone in the chat, but thank you for the love and everything.
Do you think
Appreciate
Spart, by the way, is like done enough to be in a conversation for like next year teams making changes? Because to me, it's not. I mean, look, they lost both series, but Spart was he at least showed that he's a pretty good substitute. Like he played well in Search. Like maybe there's something in it for him next year. Like in one of my opinion is like Dylan Rex rejected this opportunity to come into the team and play for what would have been the same weekend. Has Spart done his stock a favor by playing? Probably yes.
This guy, Dylan Rex, not taking the spot is some doofus behavior. I'm not going to lie to you. That's just some pure doofus behavior. You haven't got your chance in years and you decide not to take it. This is not a major maniac situation where you're taking a full role sitting there and like locking in for the whole rest of the season. This is a 14-day, 2 games, and it's a situation where no one's really going to blame you if it goes that poorly. Realistically, unless you drop a 0.3. But you're Dylan Rex, you're Spart, you're not dropping 0.3s. You guys are standout, good players on your teams, on competitive challengers teams. Him not taking it, honestly, I think he's going to look back at it and realize it was a dumb decision down the line. Whatever. Spart in this case, though, did a good job, proved his worth in S&D. This is kind of what I hope that Major Maniac would have did coming into the Boston team. At least proved his worth in one game mode, showing huge value to where a team can look at him and be like, yeah, okay, at least we know Spart's not a liability in this. And even there was against in the Toronto series, the first hard point, he was the only player positive with a 1.0, even in a hard point. So I think Spart here actually gave himself, walks away from this experience not really too different for himself, but in the community's eyes, in GM's eyes, and fans' eyes, I think this is a +1 or +2 boost for him in his worth for next year and in the future.
Let's talk about someone else.
Absolutely.
I think we need to get back to the OpTic stuff.
Yeah, let's go to let's jump to. Yeah, let's just go
We
to
have been
OpTic.
going for about
We're almost 3 hours.
2.5 hours. You know the vibes.
We'll try to catch it 3 hours and we'll try to hit the 3 hour cutoff and call it a day. Right around there.
You guys who join us every single time, we appreciate you. Honestly, if you've made it like 2.5 hours into this episode, you are just goated. Honestly,
we've been
Drop a like,
cooking.
though.
This has been a cooking episode, right? We've had a Dante interview. We've gone through a bunch of the drama. Adabap Pacella. We're going through some Black Ops 6 stuff. GAs. Vickles in the chat. Slashed in the chat. We've been vibing, absolutely vibing, boys. OpTic Texas, though. I know this is the big storyline for everyone throughout the course of the last couple weeks. Who should be dropped? What's wrong with the team? Is it post-event problems? Is there internal problems? What's going on? I mean, Rab, you're the king of OpTic clickbaiting. You're the king of OpTic intel. You owe half the team and their mother's stakes. So talk to me. What do you think is going on with OpTic Texas? What's the reasoning? What do you see as the issue or reason for the slump?
Okay, first of all, we've got to recognize that having just won the major in Toronto with one of the most impressive championship Sunday performances of all time, OpTic have never lost 4 series in a row. This is on Dallas Empire, even. This is on Chicago Huntsman. This is on OpTic Chicago. This is on OpTic Texas. This is the first time ever they've lost 4 in a row. And it's not like the 4 they've lost to is, oh, well, they went to the major, they lost to Toronto in winners finals, they lost to FaZe in losers finals, then they came back online and they played New York and FaZe again, they've lost 4 in a row. Like, this is losing 4 in a row to Vegas, ROKKR, Ravens, and New York. Like, you know, we're talking about some teams that aren't even that good. So there's clearly some degree of complacency has set in with the roster after they won the major. I think it's somewhat inevitable that after you win an event, you've got to go twice as hard to win again. It was a concern after the event in Toronto, like how they would react here, whether they would, you know, absolutely lock in and commit for the rest of the season or whether they wouldn't. Now, look, all of their losses have been game 5s. They've gone the distance with all of these teams. and it's their search and destroy that's massively let them down. Like, it's the game 2s, the game 5s. They're 2-7 in search and destroy lately. It obviously isn't good enough. Their search and destroy, it's not like their hardpoint's been great either, but in the New York series, we saw kind of glimpses of what OpTic were previously doing. The big comeback against New York on the map 4, the victory in game 1 where Dashy was frying. Like, there was a feeling that OpTic and the respawns are probably still there. But the search and destroy has been bad. Getting 6-0'd by Ravens, how they did on the high rise, was just embarrassing, really. And this series was bad as well. Like, the game 2, they lost to 6-5. The 6-star really took the cake, I would say. And I would say that over the course of those few series they played, they were kind of starting to get in their own head somewhat more. And this is why the discussion is coming to Pred, because if you look at their search and destroy numbers, they've lost all their searches over the last few series. Pred has a 0.76 in search this stage. I'm pretty sure the numbers. Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
These are the numbers in search this stage. And it's not pretty, right? And like, the data tells the same story as watching the series. I'm sure many will remember when we talked about it. Nero getting that 1v3 against OpTic was critical for them losing that series and changing the momentum against them. Pred made the mistake running out of bottom church. Nero spins on him, gets the 1 versus 3. You know, that was a life that was thrown away. We see it a few times lately. So it's mainly the search and destroy. Dashy said it in a tweet. They're like, yeah, we need to focus on our search. But, you know, FaZe focused on their search recently. They've got better at it, but their respawn has somewhat suffered. So I think OpTic should be concerned about where they currently are.
OpTic, okay, so I know we spoke earlier about how Pred is the scapegoat in this sense. I think the big reason, again, is because it's boiling down to game 5s and S&Ds, and that looks like their weak point right now, and he's the one statistically who's not playing well. But I wanted to highlight this fact as well, that in hardpoint, he's actually the one carrying when it comes to kills, when it comes to damage. 1.06, 4,400 damage, better than Dashy in terms of damage here, better than Shotzzy, better than Kenny. Pred is not the guy typically who you see carrying hardpoint for OpTic this year, especially. Maybe on Surge and stuff, it's a different story. This kind of flip that's happened, oddly, in Major 4 is spawning up this narrative. And I think just towards the second half of this year, Kenny's lost a lot of the eyes on him of being the scapegoat. And for some reason, it's gotten over to Pred. I'm not a fan of any of the narrative. I'm not a fan of scapegoating anyone, whether it is Kenny, Pred, Dashy, Shotzzy, any of the guys. They are immaculate players, all 4 of them. OpTic's just in a bit of a slump. Okay, I need to speak on this too, because I know we talked about it with Dante and stuff, but I think from speaking to more players even outside of the game as well, bro, this meta is goddamn awful. Okay, this meta is awful. Right now, subs are truly living in an AR world. I know that's been joked about before, but it really is a different world for an AR right now. And ARs who were previously good in Major 3 or even, let's say, Major 1 are getting pooped on or looking worse because gunfights are now more randomized because, again, the headshot multiplier is causing these problems. When randomness occurs, we get more inconsistency in competitiveness. OpTic all of a sudden going to game 5s and these random comebacks and volatility and bottom teams upsetting top teams. All the volatility in the league right now, in my opinion, boils down to this meta change. And this headshot multiplier messing up a lot of how this game was smoothly functioning in Major 3. I'd argue Major 3 was probably the most smooth COD we've had in a while. Most consistent. Teams that should have won series were winning. Comebacks were more warranted. It took more positioning and tactical skill and talent to win compared to right now where, I don't know, I think I see a lot of cheese kills. S&D kills are looking really like, oh, he just shit on him. It wasn't actually positioning or play. It was, oh, he turned and burned him, he shit on him. Like, that's not good COD. So I don't blame OpTic. I think they're just adapting back to this. I don't think it's post-event or what it is. I'm blaming the meta, honestly, more than I'm blaming OpTic at this point.
I think you're faded.
Thank you. I love you too.
Thank you for saying it, Trey.
Hey, you know I love you, Ace.
I know, brother. I love you too, brother.
Hey,
please,
listen.
Roast me. Come on, roast me though.
Motherfucker, they're playing like ass. This 4-bullet MCW meta isn't the reason they're losing. I watched a clip. Dashy's not playing headies. Shotzi's running into walls. Their S&D sucks. And FaZe and Ultra are still good. And New York is still, shooting.
I would argue New York.
I think the one way that it may have affected
I would argue New York
it.
gotten better. Sorry, go ahead.
What I will say is like, this is why LeProne is on the thumbnail, right? Like, we talk about this guy because Karma roasted him, his own bloody player. Like, he was roasting Pred for laying down too much. So, you know how this guy likes to play, right? Lay G, LeProne, whatever they call him. There's probably other ones the chat will come up with. But nowadays, if you lay down, you're going to get ripped by an MCW, right? Like, the headshot multiplier is going to affect you worse than it was when it was 5 bullets to kill. So I do think that there's something in it, in the sense that Pred's playstyle is now slightly less effective than it was previously, because if you lay down, you're going to get cooked by an MCW a lot of the time now than you weren't a few weeks ago. That, to me, is the only way that it's really affected.
Wasn't this the meta in Major 2 and Major 1 as well, though?
Yeah, it was still the same back then. And OpTic
And
didn't win either of those majors.
yeah, they didn't win the majors, but they were still finishing 7-0, 6-1.
That's true. That is true.
Like, listen, sometimes you just got to realize, and Kenny said it himself, they ain't playing well. And that's what we got to, that's just what we got to take with a grain of salt, that your Major 3 champs that were champions 3 weeks ago, they don't look good right now. That's also the reality of it.
I'm gonna also add too, right? Major 4, you have an S&D slump for AG, right? But he's dropping a 1.01. Again, I'm not Mr. Numbers guy or stats guy. That's not what I follow. But I just want to point out, Kenny's actually 0.91, is not getting any of the flack. I'm curious though, if anyone in the chat or you guys have an opinion, why do we think Kenny's not getting much of the slack, even though statistically, which most of the fans will look at, he's performing technically the worst? Why are we not seeing much Kenny slander as opposed to a lot of AG slander?
Because they know what Kenny brings to the team in terms of if he's not playing well, and I'm not saying the other players don't do this. If Kenny's not playing well, he's still the guy with the comms. He's still doing the right things on the map. And I'm gonna be real, they've used a lot of players over the years, but Kenny is the only one that's came in and like shown the fans what they've been missing, in my opinion.
Ultimately boil it down though, it's like, I mean, S&Ds, because it all is game 5s, man. Them losing S&Ds, 0-3 in Karachi, which again I think has been one of their better maps overall. Before this split they were 7-3 on Karachi. Now they're 7-6 because of Major 4. 0-1 on Invasion, 0-1 on Rio, 1-1 on High Rise, 1-1 on 6-star. Not really dominant on anything. Previously, the only map they were bad on S&D was High Rise. Everything else, they were pretty much 2-1 on 6-star. Yeah, 9-4, 7-3. Rio didn't perform that well, and then Terminal doesn't even exist anymore. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with their S&D. I don't know if other teams have improved or what it may be. From the clip we saw earlier, it looked like they're trolling a little bit in S&D, not taking rounds seriously. Yeah, I don't know. OpTic to me...
It's an interesting... just looking at our chat real quick, Turtle sent me something pretty interesting, just looking at the major winners and what that has translated to over the last 2 seasons, because basically in every scenario, they have not done especially well. Only New York Subliners last year were able to go back-to-back, having won, Major 4 and then the World Championship.
Are you trying to say like what the slump looks like after winning an event for teams, basically?
Yeah, like exactly. What might be the expected finish? Because you can bring it up on the screen, like I threw it in there.
That stat is like when they've won a major to then after the major, right?
Yeah, the next major, basically. Like what happens next major? So, like FaZe, for example, they won Major 2. Then they went 7-0 in the next set of qualifiers and finished 3rd at Major 3. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. But like the records aren't great, right? Like it should not be underestimated how challenging it is to go back to back. It hasn't happened for the last couple of years, with the exception of New York winning champs and Major 4 last season. But of course, that's not a qualifier stint. That's just 2 weeks later with no matches in between. So I think OpTic maybe just should have been more prepared for having a more difficult time. And they now have to go to a really tricky spot, right? Because starting in losers is a realistic possibility. If we look at the standings for the stage, they obviously need to beat Boston, and they almost certainly have to beat Toronto. 2 wins is probably not going to suffice. It's maybe possible that they can get away with 2 wins, but they have to absolutely hope that everybody else bottles it, because there's already 7 teams with 3 wins. So, realistically, they're only fighting if they don't beat Toronto, they're only fighting for 1 spot. And if you do get the 8th seed, you're playing phase round 1, which isn't really where you want to be. So I'm definitely concerned, but I also think that it's not like they get to go to a proper LAN with fans and all this stuff. Like, they have to go to this weird LAN in Burbank, no fans there, and like that's their big prep for the big tournament. Like, yeah, not ideal, but it's tough.
It's actually a crazy thought to think that at this major, with no fans, you might actually see in round 1 of winners, if OpTic win both these matches, which we assume they will, or maybe hope they will, maybe they only win 1 out of 2, that either they start in losers or round 1 they're playing New York or Toronto round 1. So
I think what's even crazier is that this will be the first time that when they finish, if in my opinion they finish losers.
You think they start in losers?
With the way they've been playing, I don't see them beating Toronto.
Damn. Then they start losing 100%. Then they're in the mix of Thieves, Carolina, ROKKR.
Do you know what's even crazier about that? Is that this will be a chance where a team not in the top 4 will have a team not in the top 4 play another team not in the top 4, and that will guarantee their spot of champs.
Oh my god! Wait, you actually might have cooked.
Hey,
no, that is kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, Seattle, Miami, Vegas, Legion, Gorillas, Thieves all have a chance to do something crazy right here and just have.
Whoever wins that match guarantees champs.
Yeah, you're realistically, if you were any of these teams, you are fighting tooth and nail trying to get this 4th and 5th spot, because that means you play another bottom 8 team technically. But if you get 6th, 7th, or 8th, then you're playing one of the top 3.
And just like Afnaf said in the chat. Yeah, if you lose in your winners bracket, because essentially, it's always top 4 teams that you lose to, right? Let's just say that. That's like predicted. But now, if OpTic go and loses and you lose around 1 game, you're fighting against another team that's in the bottom team for your chance at champs. Now you're potentially fighting OpTic to guarantee you not making it to champs.
Yeah,
OpTic might have single-handedly fucked over like 3 teams.
Who paid OpTic this much to give away these wins, man? I know they couldn't go to Saudi or some shit, and then they're like, hey, guys, I'm sorry. Hey, AG, Shotzi, I'll make it up to you. Don't worry. And then they slid some cash under the table, and now they're giving away free wins for champ spots to make up for the Saudi money. You OpTic boys, I see what's going on here, man. People are
this is the question, okay? So let's say OpTic don't turn this around. They may turn it around. We know what they're capable of. We don't need to talk about that again. We know what the players are capable of. We saw it not many weeks ago. Let's say they can't turn it around. Like, even with Karma and Kenny and those guys, they just can't seem to switch back on the same way that they were before. And they start and loses this major. They maybe get top 6. Maybe they get top 4, but it's nothing great. They go to champs and they bow out early doors. Top 6, something like that. Having won major 3. What do you do at that point? Obviously, it's hypothetical because who knows who's going to play well and who's going to play poorly. But all I'll say is that I've seen some OpTic fans over the last couple of days already talking about getting Hydra in. Minus Pred plus Hydra, here we go. Now, this reminds me, obviously, of what happened during Major 3, when all the talk going into Major 3 was, oh, well, OpTic need to drop Dashy for Scrappy. And then, well, guess how that tournament ended, with Dashy making some mega plays in a lot of the search and destroys, which, to be fair, like, the fact that he's now not making those crazy clutches, they're starting to lose the searches, so maybe they weren't, maybe he was just bailing them out or whatever. But the whole OpTic Scrappy thing died down somewhat after the victory, obviously. But now here we go again. We've got the Hydra Scrappy talk is back. And I don't think it will be fully back unless they have a really tough Major 4 and potentially a really tough World Championship. And also, you got to think, if OpTic aren't going to Riyadh for the Esports World Cup, what the hell do you do? Because you've got 2 more events. you've got no final, proving ground to see if your team still has what it takes.
I'm OpTic just doing this. This is like, why does COD always come down to just some crazy end of the year script that just
Right, this is the OpTic shit. It always happens like this.
it couldn't be done any differently. Like expecting anything different than this to happen.
No, this
It's
is
all
great.
sold their soul for
It's
that
the
major win.
reasonable thing to happen. But
This is
now
great.
the most
This is great.
unpredictable thing is occurring right now at the end of the year.
This will actually get me watching the major like properly. It will get me watching online, like, because right now I don't know about you guys in the chat, like, it's still boring to watch.
What, online?
Like it's
Or the majors?
no online.
Oh yeah, it's ass.
Like even though we've got like they need these wins, like it's still boring to watch. Obviously the lesser teams are coming up and beating the top teams, whatever like that. But if I see OpTic and losers and I see a round one matchup of like two bottom 8 teams, find out guaranteed champs from one of those, and then the team that loses that plays OpTic and they're out of champs because of that. You couldn't write a better story to not make champs.
I would watch COD if someone could just gravity slam and get 4. I would be watching COD all day if someone could just hook it up, hit a grav slam and call it a day, or even X Defiant, you shoot the little shield in front of you and pop off on someone. I'd be watching a lot more COD. I'll be honest, if there was some abilities and some wall running and jetpacks back in, I'd be watching more COD. But this is finally a reason with the storylines to get back to it. Major 4 is setting up pretty crazy. Speaking of OpTic, though, I wanted to probably close out on this little clip that we had from Scrap saying, get the chat going a little bit as well. Scrap says Formal and Scump would get slammed if they came back to OpTic. Chat, I'm going to let you guys react while we watch this. What do you think? Do you think Formal and Scump would get slammed if they came back to competitive COD for Black Ops 4? Black Ops 6, excuse me. Here you go. Let's watch the clip, though.
One, I don't know who the fuck he's going to play with. Who would Formal play with?
Last week or so.
Who the fuck would Formal play with? Then he's like, oh yeah, I'm hella confident playing this.
Scrimming it, and then this seems to be his last year.
That's
Bro, he
not
ain't
playing.
getting on OpTic. He
It's
don't
like
want to
Ben knows. It's like Ben just fucking knows.
Okay, you get Scump, you get Formal. Okay,
realistically draw for him, right?
bro, they're getting ran.
No one.
They're getting
No
ran.
one.
Don't even
getting ran.
entertain that.
Yeah,
Nobody.
So
Bro, he's
what-
They're
not
getting
getting
ran.
on a single top 4 team.
What team is he gonna go to then? That's not a top 4 team. That like he's
None
gonna
of
be
them.
confident in those teammates.
No one.
Bro, that's what we just asked you.
He's on the second green team. It may
Nobody.
Someone said Thieves, but then you're the same situation.
There's
Thieves.
someone
You
else
and
in.
Ghosty and who are your 2 sub players?
Bro, he's not leaving the top of Halo to come be mid-pack in COD and not
I
win
agree.
events.
Guys, Trey, I'm gonna start with you. Rab, I'm definitely gonna jump to you as well. But Trey, you played against Formal, you played against Scump, right? You have experience against those guys. You know what they're like. If they came back to compete in, let's say, Black Ops 6 or in or just back to COD in general, would they be competitive?
Yeah, they'd be competitive, but you got to also look at the teams they have. It's not like a one-man army. We're talking Formal and Scump that had, they've had Crim, they've had Karma, they've had the greats. Like Octane said, Formal ain't coming back and team with fucking Snoopy. Formal's only coming back if he gets a fucking top 4 team. And even then, he would, Formal, I feel like, would only want to play for OpTic. Woods, I didn't get slammed by them every time, actually. Had Formal in the back pocket for 2 months.
2 months in Infinite Warfare, yeah, facts.
Had the whole of OpTic in my back pocket for all of World War II. Don't worry about it, it's all good. That was in the past. Now look at me and look at them. Yeah, that's fucking life, that is. But listen, they would need good teammates. Formal and Scumping coming back and playing with 2 challenges. Like you guys over exaggerate. Like, yes, they are fucking disgusting, but they have had the top of the top players. We got to understand that, right? That's just how it is. Do I think they didn't automatically be a top 4 team if they came back? Like, if they just let's say they don't go on up, they don't go on a top 4 team. Boom, Scump and Formal on a roster, team with 2 trans players. Fuck no, it don't work like that.
I'm just thinking about like when Scump retired and when Formal retired, how they were playing, right? Because that was a threat game, Black Ops Cold War. They were good, but the team wasn't that good. Like OpTic Chicago, they maxed out at top 4 that year with a team with Envoy and Dashy on to round out the roster. Like, it was a good team on paper. And yeah, Formal and Dashy didn't work together really as an AR duo. Formal was obviously fed up with how things were going at that time. Scump was still in Search and Destroy that year, probably a top 5 player in the game. Overall, Octane, I remember making the argument during the Cold War season that Scump was like a top 10 player in the game, something in that kind of ballpark, which is still very good. But it ain't top 1, you know? Like, when Scump was just about to call it a day, or a couple of years before, like, Scump was still top 10, but he wasn't the player that he was a few years before. But there's zero chance that Scump comes back and gets fried. Like, you're actually delusional if you think that Scump and 4 will come back and get cooked. Like, they're just too talented for that to be the case if they try it. But that's the important thing. It's like, Scump and Formal during that Cold War season probably would have been at a relatively similar level to each other in terms of, like, you know, top 5 SMG or AR in the game if Formal actually cared. And if Scump actually cared, they'd be better, right? So that's kind of the point. Is like, Scrappy's idea that they'd get cooked is only the reality if they didn't really care about taking it serious. And if they didn't care about taking it serious, they wouldn't come back, as far as I'm concerned. So my feeling is if they came back, like, they would be a threat, because they would actually, if they come back, they want to play.
Yeah, Scrap hasn't played against Formal, first off. And I think Scrap, I don't know if he's just trying to play the villain character to the best of his ability, because he's kind of taken slowly, not as much as, like, let's say Draws has taken, but Scrap is having fun with the role of the troll and talking a little shit, especially with the OpTic guys. He likes poking at them, at Nade, at Scump, and all that. So I think he might just be agreeing to just get the chat riled up, potentially. Because in all logical minds, Formal and Scump coming back, playing with, you know, the caliber of players they are, they're not playing with two bottom dogs. You're not, you know, like Trey said, you're not playing with Snoopy all of a sudden. You're playing with 2 top guys. Formal and Scump are absolutely going to be competitive in a Black Ops 6 Treyarch game. Scump is no doubt. Formal still playing a competitive top esport at the top level. His reaction time is there. His gameplay is there. His gunny is there. Scump still plays games online and puts clips every week of him just shitting on people in ranked and having a silly goose time, barely trying and getting 3 pieces and 4 pieces and all that. I think for Scrap or anyone to think that these guys are washed or they couldn't come back at any time they want, or even if they went to Hex tomorrow and said, hey, Hex, we want to come back to the starting lineup of OpTic and really make something happen for Black Ops 6 and we're taking it seriously, I think Hex would give them a spot back in 5 minutes. I think they would be back on the starting lineup in 5 minutes and running it up with whoever they decide, whether it's Dashy, whoever. Formal and Scump would be an absolute force in Black Ops 6 if they decided to come back. That's my 100% just like solid opinion. Chat. I feel like chat is all mixed up whether they agree or disagree. I think they're like mixed. I love how people are all about Scump, yes, who hasn't played a comp game, but then Formal, who has been playing a comp game for the last 2-3 years, they're like, nah, no chance Formal's gonna come back good. Huh? Y'all good?
Yeah, I think it's interesting with Scump. Like, Scump is just so ridiculous. I mean, Formal, obviously, this also applies to some degree, but like, I can see Formal kind of grinding through a game and saying, well, you know, like, if I'm not that good, like, whatever, I'm still getting paid type thing. Whereas Scump ain't about that. Like, if Scump's playing a game, he is trying to the best of his conscious ability to put in as much time as possible. Like, it's the same shit you see when you take Scump to a Black Ops 2 throwback tournament or, you know, the Founders LAN or whatever. Like, this guy is just gonna try, like, he's sweaty as fuck is what Scump is. Like, he cannot stop trying, which is great, I think, from a personality and from a content creator perspective. But, like, the guy just is so good, and he will never, like, take it easy on an opponent. So I think that if he was to return, I actually see where the chat's coming from, that they'd have the most faith in Scump out of the 2 to be the dominant force.
Listen, let me explain this to these these cats in the chat.
The chat is they're burning a hole in my brain right now, bro.
Formal could come back and compete. All right. If anything, Formal's more ready to compete than Scump is.
Thank you.
Way more ready to compete than Scump is. If you put Scump in a team and Formal in a team, Formal is ready to go. Scump is not. you guys are faded if you think Formal could not come back and take over. We're talking about Formal. Formal to me probably is the greatest FPS player to play. Let's be real.
Yeah, but like
top 3.
He's been in almost every grand finals or top 3 of every Halo event for the last like 3 years. Literally, he's been the top 3 of like every event for 3 years, basically.
Guys, you guys are really like, you guys jump onto the bandwagon too quick. I did not say Scump can't compete. I'm just saying Formal is more ready than Scump.
Dude,
like
they love it. There's no gray area. There's no rationality. It's either you're saying Scump's ass or you're saying Formal's ass.
The way I say it,
there's no middle ground.
29 degrees washed apparently.
The way I say it is like someone could go to me like, Trey, do you like chicken? I'm like, nah, I don't like chicken. Like, oh, so you're a vegan then? You know, they just completely blow it out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Listen. It's like me and Octane, right? Me and Octane could come back and compete. Like, we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ass, by the way, anyone. I'm not ass. MW2 is ass. I'm not ass. A lot of these players that are retired, Zinni, Formal, Scump, me, Octane, we could come back and compete for sure.
Yeah.
Are we ready? The only person that is probably ready is Formal in terms of competitive aspect because he's actually still competing.
He's probably the most ready. I would say he's the only one that is ready. You could come back. You're playing ranked X-Define, yada yada. You're still warm, but he's the most warm because he's in a fully competitive setting, still playing for money and all that. He's the most ready. But yeah. Like, that's my point. You guys are gonna understand. You guys are gonna understand that like these guys haven't like lost their hands, but it all comes down to their teammates too. Like, Formal's not playing COD with 3 challenger players. Like, they're not. Boston ain't going up to Formal and be like, yo, Formal, we'll throw you a 1.5 million. Actually, no, you would go for that. I'd go for that too. Formal, we'll throw you a 400k contract. You know, you just got to play with. Yada yada yada. He ain't doing that. He knows better than that. Formal Scump, Octane +1. The retired lads, I know what they did. See, they all retired at back-to-back, simultaneously, kind of, just so one day they can find a good game like Black Ops 6 and then return as a Quattro, right? Formal, Scump, Octane, give me a 4th. I don't even care. They're waiting for Shotzi. They grab Shotzi, and there you go. There's the 4. Have the craziest team that they've been waiting to make. Otherwise, they couldn't. I must have fell off the face of the earth. Never mind, Ace. It's all good. What? Even you?
Yeah, all good.
I said fuck you right there, Trey. My bad, gangster. I didn't mean that. Yeah, nah, low key kind of did. It's all good though. Once I'm lifting up X-Define championships, no one's gonna say nothing to me. So I agree. Absolutely, I agree. And I want to see you lift up the X-Define championship trophy whenever that tourney comes out, that league comes out, guys. I think we've. What? Bro, yo, Rabby's leaking, bro. I'm not leaking.
Bro, it's leaking some crazy shit.
I said whenever there's a tournament, something like that. I don't know. One day, I hope there's an X-Define. X-Define's fun, bro. I've been playing it some more offline, off stream, everything, just playing it. X-Define's hella fun, bro. And I tuned into you scrimming the other day, and it was fun to watch. So hopefully we get some.
Best POV worldwide.
Now, hopefully we got a tournament or some X-Define competitive stuff. That would be cool to see. Universe-wide, Milky Way-wide. And OpTic.
Jeez, you're taking Formal shtick like that.
Absolutely.
Stick or dick?
Huh? Why are we getting sus? Why are we getting sus all of a sudden? Sorry. What, we didn't see what Rab done the last time we did it? Fucking look.
That was pretty shit, baby. Look.
3 hours in, we've talked about it all. We've talked about OpTic. We've talked about Scrap, Formal, Scump. We've talked about Black Ops 6. We've talked about it all. Guys, dope check episode 25. 25. Jesus, man. 25 weeks of y'all supporting us. The growth of the show has been absolutely massive, from the shows every Monday to the pre-shows to the event live pre-shows and watch parties that we've done. We appreciate it. We're a quarter of the way in. We're going to get to 50, then 100. Dope check to the moon, baby. Great week. This closing week of COD is going to be one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest online weeks of COD of the entire year. Champs are on the line. Champ spots are on the line. Narratives are back. We got players returning. Who knows what's going to happen this final week and how this major is going to form up. From myself, Tactical Rab, and Trey Zero, and everyone at Breaking Point, we thank you guys for supporting and watching Dope Check episode 25. We'll catch you guys on Friday. 1 hour and 30 minutes before the matches for the pre-show, before the best week of online COD we're going to get for the entire year. We appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Later. Bye, y'all.